baby girl, I'm sorry, right, was missing. All the things that she was saying at the wedding were not a coincidence. She was being very intentional about it. She knew it was going to come up on national television. She her tone when she was speaking about her father, she still has some kind of resentment towards him, and I don't believe it's because he went away to prison. I don't. I think that there's something deeper there, and as a result, it is now seeping through her life, and in her relationships. And what tends to happen is when you have that disconnect with your relationship with your father, you can't. You have rose tinted glasses, so when you do find somebody, you cannot let go. Even if she's a very intelligent woman, she sees the signs, but she's never gonna let go until Tyler lets go. It's gonna be Tyler. If they're ever gonna break up, it's gonna be Tyler that's gonna walk away, because she sees commitment as you stay no matter what. That's what grandma did. Because pop pops weren't nice to grandma, but grandma stayed. So that's what you're supposed to do. She gonna stand behind that man. I'm telling you, she's never leaving. He could do anything, and she will, because you're supposed to stay no matter what. You're supposed to be a united front no matter what. She's taken those traditional values, right? And unfortunately is misusing them on the wrong man. So yes, it has an impact. And unfortunately, I don't think that she sees that. But that's her burden to carry, because when she said, "Do you think that I know you or I know?" She said, "Mind your business." So people should mind the business. But what she doesn't understand, that there's people who literally their job is to dig up dirt. TMZ, story time with Ricky. All these people, it's literally their job to do, and even people who are not being paid. We are nosy. We we are nosy. We want to know. So we might mind our business, but it don't mean that people are still not going to dig. Anyway, she gonna learn, and we're gonna be here to tell her, "I told you so."
Your struggle streams.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, that's why we ain't gonna see it because everyone could be blocked. She ain't gonna be checking for what people are saying. She's quite happy to go off into this relationship and trust the connection that she made with him. Um, Now, like Lorraine is right. A lot of people were more invested in Ashley and maybe saw someone they knew or saw themselves in her to a degree and thought, yeah, she should pack it in. Like there's enough information about Tyler out there, the situation, you know, previous relationship, evictions, all the stuff that all the YouTubers and bloggers have blogged about, TikTok, all of. She doesn't want to hear it. All right, she wants to now come off the show and have a private relationship with this guy, and chances are it might not work because there's so many things that he comes into the relationship with. But at least she wants to experience it for whatever reason. I don't know if it's daddy issues. Her dad is still present. While they're both still living and breathing, they can at any time, if they both felt like it, attempt to mend whatever relationship is fractured. But ultimately, yeah, she chose Tyler against most people's um, better judgment or hopes. He's not the ideal guy to be getting into a long-term relationship with. He has 18 years of commitment with children that he doesn't have access to or regular contact with. He tried to deny, right? And then he also has the eviction situation. If you want to buy a house together and shack up together, create a family of your own, you're going to come across them hurdles too. So she says that she's aware of all of that, and she still chose to be with that man. So whether we like it or not, we don't have to, but whether we like it or not, she's going to proceed And if that's what she finds happiness, if that's where she finds it in Tyler and his embraces and his charming words and all that, she just has to learn by herself. Life is for learning lessons, and it's never the end until it's the end, right? So hopefully she goes through, she learns what she learns, and she's able to not be too hurt or damaged by it to move on afterwards.
Love those points. Okay, I'm gonna. El Cid, you see want to add as well? I haven't. You see want to add? No. Okay, I'm going to supplant a video for you guys. I don't know if you have watched it. So here we go.
Story. There are a lot of people who do know that not everything is black and white, and especially when it comes to donating your genetics to a friend or to a family member. But I did feel like this is something that I needed to disclose to kind of like shut it down. So yes, I knew. And he's like, you guys called me intelligent and like poised and all these things, but now I'm blind. I mean, love is blind, but I'm not blind.
Not that
like,
blind,
of course,
yeah.
Not that blind. Let's be clear. And of course, I did a background on this man when I first met him. Like, you know, like right when I got my phone back in Arlington, I hit up my godbrother and we literally did a deep dive. That's what I do. My friends call me to investigate everything. I'm better than any fake ass TikTok journalist out there. Like, you can't tell me anything I don't know. Now, had I seen all of the pictures? No. Once I got a full view of what I needed to, and I spoke to his friends and spoke to his family, that's what I needed for my own personal reassurance. And from there, it was a come what may mindset.
So come what may mindset. I hear it. I want to get your thoughts on that. What position do you hold after hearing this? I think it, you know, like I said, I do have some sympathy, and you know, sometimes you're trying to cover, you know what I mean? Like, hey, she's doing a better job than the men did for Nick, so I'm not going to complain. Dahlia, go for it. What's your thoughts on this audio?
That was my first time hearing it. I didn't know that she had done an interview. Oh, Ashley. Okay. You know what? You said something in the last live that really struck with me. You said that she might be one of those women who is like the women who don't have sympathy for SA victims because they themselves had been through it. And so they can't give grace or empathy for others because they themselves didn't receive it. So they think that that's normal. I understand that because I did the same thing when I was in denial about what happened to me too. So I can understand how Ashley would get there. But just like I was wrong then for how I was thinking about those victims, Ashley is wrong now for how she's talking about this whole situation and how I'm fairly sure she's dealing with these kids. This is madness. This is not okay. To me, right now, since she's so intelligent, okay, she done all this work. She just reads villain status with her man. Her man. They both gonna get left for dead because they're both on the same level now. She's okay with this. So I can't at this point now. I release any empathy, sympathy that I had for her. First of all, I think she's lying. I don't think she did any real work. I know she's saying that now. She could say that in hindsight. I don't think that at the time she was actually doing any background checks. I don't believe her. I don't think that she did any real investigation into her man. I don't think that she was asking any real questions to his friends and family. You know what I think she did? Do you remember that scene from Love is Blind UK where I can't remember the black girl's name. She was dating the hippie and the other dude.
Nicole.
And she was asking, you know what I'm talking about?
Nicole and Benaya.
Nicole, yes. And she was asking the other guy, are you really here for love? Or is this real for you? Like asking dumbass questions like that. I feel like that's what she was doing. That's what I think happened. And now she's coming back because she's heard all these reviews and stuff. Now she's trying to rewrite history and say that she did all this great investigative work. You're not going to convince me that you did that. And then you still decided to say yes to this man. Because if that's the case, then you are really a bird. You're really a bird. So either you're a bird or you didn't actually, you know what? Either way, you are a bird. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. It's just I'm processing this in real time. Either way, all avenues lead to Ashley being a bird. That's what I feel about this. I'm gonna land my plane right there. Ashley's burger. Yeah.
Okay, I'm not going to define which wildlife animal she may be. But what I will say is she's fighting a lot. She's pushing back a lot to the public. Because if we don't matter and we don't know anything, why are you fighting so hard, sis? Why are you struggling so hard? Block everybody and be on your way with your happy life. But you see, this is what makes me push back on Ashley. Like, you ain't that happy, sis. Because if you for real happy, no one could push you off your square. No one could say anything that would make you think anything other than my life is where it is. And you will block out what anybody has to say. But since you're fighting the social media so much, and then you got to say fake journalists, and then you go and say all this other stuff to try and discredit other people finding out information, you are rattled. You are rattled. You are showing the slip. We are seeing you plain as day, because you should just go on with your life and be talking about your man and how beautiful it is. But when you use words like donate genetics, this ain't a science project. This ain't a science project. And everybody in here has had sex education. These were traditional. If we donating, there's a certain level of distance to donations. I don't go and stay up in the Goodwill when I donate clothes, okay? And he went and stayed up, left the package donation, and lived with the package and donations. So don't give me this whole donate genetics. This ain't a science project. These are real children, real lives. This man's name is on birth certificates. Let's not play in people's faces. So yes, you're saying but I think, the way she's reacting, I think she didn't know. I think she's highly embarrassed. And what she's not going to do is show us that she's sweating. But guess what? We see the sweat on your brow and we see it at your top lip. Because all these reactions, Ashley, I'm seeing it. I'm seeing you rattled. And that is what's making me side-eye all these, I know, don't insult my intelligence, blah, blah, blah. You are doing this for our sake, and it shouldn't be. You should be going on living your fairy tale, and that's all you talk about. But you're talking about everybody else. You're blocking other people. You shouldn't block them. You should let them see your fabulous life and how you're living it, if it really isn't an issue.
Yes, Easton, go for it.
I have a little bit. I used to not have sympathy for Ashley, but I do want to have a little bit for her, because any man that, like, you see that picture or the video collage that they had at the reunion where Tyler was out of the frame and then he just comes in and kisses her on her cheek. Any man that's able to do that is diabolical. Like, there was just too many instances where I knew that man. He said, "Yeah, I won this one. I won." And he did win, because he won the lottery. He's able to effectively almost reset his life, because I'm sure Ashley will, he might get him out of a hole, might help facilitate some of these different, try to smooth over some of these deficiencies. But I do want to provide a little bit of pushback, because I think anybody in this situation would act like that. Just because for her, she has a vision of this knight in shining armor and Tyler being this great person. And to be frank, I don't trust the whole situation. Granted, there are receipts in some aspects, but I think that there's, the picture I need to see, I know there's videos and stuff like that, is I need to see Tyler laid up playing PS5 with the do-rag on, with the babies in the arm or some. I need to see that picture, because if I see that picture, I know he was around and he just wasn't a JCPenney's holiday dad. I think there's two differences, and I need to see that aspect of Tyler, because I think that there's a good solid middle ground with this conversation. I know Tyler, we want to, conflate all of his deficiencies, the evictions, him doing everything on the lying, all that stuff. But I do think that there is an aspect where it isn't everything that Bri and Deshaun are saying. But I don't really expect Ashley to act any type of way different. Like, I feel like if anybody else was in her shoes, they would act the exact same way because she's on national TV. Granted, she did dig herself into this hole, but she's trying to continue the facade and the image that she had of Tyler in her mind. And, I'm willing to give you a little bit of grace because he did lie to you and get you to a certain point. And so there is that.
I hear it. Yes, Jay, go for it. Y'all putting some good point.
Ashley won. She won the prize. She won Tyler. She won everything. She won me not caring. Okay, I'm done, Ashley. You ain't gonna worry about me. Worried about you. Okay, you won, sis. You won. You got what you wanted. I ain't worried about it. You spoke to everybody. You spoke to everybody on his side. So you spoke to everybody. You got all the information you needed by speaking to everybody on his side. Congratulations. If you want to stay in that fairy tale, have at it, baby, because at the end of the day, I can't atone for your sins. I got my own to worry about, okay? So I'm not about to judge her anymore. That's between her and God at this point. You know what I'm saying? That's between her and God. If her moral compass says she is okay with a man who wants to denounce his children or whatever and usurp his own throne, well, let him do it. All right? That by all means, do what you got to do. That's the kind of man you want. If she wants to say that I only place myself in this much value, I have to treat her like anybody else and see reality. I cannot make you better than you want to make yourself, baby. If you feel like you can't do no better than this man and this is the last resort that you got to go to, by all means, this is your last resort. Let me focus on me at this point, okay? Let me just worry about me at this point. And I think, to her point, we all need to worry about ourselves because she's saying she can't do no better. That's what she's telling us. She can't do no better. This is it right here. We need to just let her be. Point blank, period. And I'm going to let her be. At the end of the day, she may get this man not to leave her when he has some kids. She may be that one for him. This might be her calling to fix this man and get him back on track. She might have the means to cover all his financial debts. She might have it. I don't know. This is her journey. This is what God probably placed in her heart. I hope not. But this is probably what God probably placed in her heart that she can handle because God gives us nothing that we can't handle. Maybe this just might be the lesson that she needs because she wasn't listening to God in the first place. I have no idea. But I'm just going to let her walk on her course. Let her be. Because guess what? At some way, we got to part ways anyway. Bye, sis. Bye. Bye. You know what I'm saying? Take one less, how they want to call it, dusty off the streets for me. Okay. Let one less I got to run into. Thank you very much. Enjoy your ride. Okay. This is your wave. You ride it on by yourself. We all should just mind our business and wait till the book come out. That's what I'm just saying. We can get back into it when the book come out. We can get back into Ashley's life. But right now, let her work on these chapters in peace. Please. Please, that's all we asking, okay? As now a PR for Ashley, just let her do this in peace, okay? Because we watch Cardi B run back to Offset so many times and we tell her not to do it and she do it every time. This lady gonna keep running back to this man every time. Let her be. Let her be Cardi B Senior, okay? If that's what she want to do, let her do it, all right? Amen.
Any other thoughts, guys, on that? Yes, Lorraine.
I think she knew. I think she did what she said she did. I think she did the research. I think that there's some women who have inclinations that something is not right. They have an intuition that something is not adding up here, or they just want to find out a bit more. But they're just finding out to find out, because once you know what you're going to do about it, women who, do FBI and go through their man's phone and they do all this, and once they find out, they don't leave, they stay. You find out because you're curious or something is telling you that something is not right, yet you stay. So I genuinely believe that she knew. I genuinely believe that she accepted everything that came with Tyler. I do. I don't think that she's finding out about this the same time that we have. However, I will say that she's handling it very, very terribly. For someone who's accepted it, for somebody who's taken on, all this stuff, you're not handling it well. I always say let them be wrong about you. Even if something triggers you, it's upset, just let people be wrong about you, because guess what? We're gonna forget. Love is Blind, the reunions happened. A week or two, people won't be talking about this. After this live, I'm gonna forget their names. I'm gonna who so and so, because that's what happens. There's going to be a new show. There's going to be a new scandal. People are going to go talking about the other things that, that are important, the election, whatever it is that people are going to be talking about. People will forget. They need to get themselves a good PR. Clean up your image. If you want to get that bad, you're not marketable right now. I don't know if Tyler's got a job. So what you need to be doing is cleaning your image up, making sure that he's marketable so he can get them brand deals. Unless you want to stick in reality TV and you're marketing to you want to go to Love and Hip Hop, actually, then carry on. Then carry on talking back, carry on, clapping back at people, because that's very much on brand with reality TV show. I'm sorry, very much on brand for Ratchet reality TV show. But if you want to actually make something out of this, keep your mouth shut. And keep your mouth shut and stop being passive aggressive, because you care way too much for somebody who has accepted this. It's cool, right? So just be quiet, because you're making people talk more. The more you talk, the more we're gonna respond. So I feel like she knows, she's okay with it, but she's talking a bit too much. She's a little sassy pants, which is absolutely fine. Be who you are, but you're coming into this world not realizing that this is your social proof, and you need to clean up your image if you want to make something out of this, which might be the reason why you went on the show anyway. Because I see you doing your little makeup tutorials, girl. You're just doing that for fun? No, you're not. You're trying to get them brand deals, but brands are not going to touch you because you're not clean. Okay?
It's real. Easton.
I also think we have to get out of the mind frame of just like step parenting, just a step parent, or broken homes for broken homes, or stepping up just to step up. Because what gives anybody the idea that Tyler or Ashley would be great step parents, co-parents, any of that? Ashley seems real. Like, I think she would be kind of like the like Cinderella's mom. Like, she doesn't seem like she would be a very good nice lady to them kids. Them children would be struggling over there. And imagine if Tyler and Ashley had their own kid. Again, I don't want to put that into the universe, but imagine if they had their own kids. I feel like she would be like, no, my kids get 12 gifts for Christmas, and your kids get 2. Like, she doesn't give me a very nurturing or loving stepmom. And Tyler, he doesn't even have a pot to piss in. So what makes you think that he really needs to step up? He don't need to be the dad that stepped up, or maybe he just needs to sit down and get his life together. But I think we're getting in a place where we're always like, oh, well, he needed to show up and do something. No, people, you never know. There's a level of resentment associated with that moment. I think that you need to have parents that are willing and able and wanting to, because you're going to get into some situations where people are taking out their resentment on the kids or mistreating the kids because of that. That's just my thought.
Go for it, Dahlia.
So I have a comment and a question for the panel, specifically Lorraine and Elsit, because Lorraine, you said something that I was thinking of too about Ashley and Tyler, which is, I think Love is Blind, specifically Love is Blind, not Kinetic. I think they were trying to strategize and put Tyler and Ashley up front, get them out of the way immediately, so that way we could move on to the next person. And I think Nick, sorry, you got put down as the sacrificial lamb, since we can't do Tyler like we really want to, because he's one of the only 2 marriages that we have. And if you look at Love is Blind's track record, they got about 20% every season. It's usually two couples who will make it. Now, most of them divorce, but they at least make it to the reunion. So they need to at least keep that going, that formula going. Otherwise, it don't look good. And then they're going to go the married at first route. We don't want that. And I think what they were trying to do to combat that was to include all these other couples from previous seasons. Why are we hearing about Jessica? She not even married anybody from the cast. Like, she got somebody else. She didn't have to bring that poor little baby out there, scared him half to death. He's crying all over the place. They got Jessica there. She's single. Why is AD on my screen? Why is Nick acting like him and AD are the best of friends? AD, what do you think about what's going on? It's weird. So you're trying to like pretend like nothing to see over here. I also think that the reason why they're trying to make Tyler and Ashley look good is because this is mutually assured destruction here. What happened is, because they didn't do a good background check, and this is not their first time doing a poor background check, you screwed over Ashley. Ashley's bird self decided she's going to let her stuff stay screwed and say yes to this man. And so now she can't really come back at Love is Blind like she rightfully could. Even if she didn't win that case, she could have settled outside of court. That's what normally happens. They've been sued many times. All of them have been settled outside of court. None of them got dismissed. Okay. But now both of them need each other, right? Both of them need each other because both the couple and Love is Blind, they're both trying to have these big successful things going on, and they need each other. And I'm wondering if Love is Blind is trying to tell Ashley specifically, because Tyler's saying nothing, if they're trying to put a muzzle on her, because I feel like she's actually tanking their strategy right now by speaking so freaking much. She basically obliterated whatever sympathy that we could have had for her with that reunion, and then with that interview that you just showed, Kojo. I'm wondering if they're speaking to her about that, like, shut the hell up. You killing the vibe right now. We need you. We can't just live off of Taylor and Garrett. They're boring. Sorry. Their fashion game is on point, but they're boring. I wonder if that's the conversation that they're having with them backstage.
What's the question?
Anybody want to touch that?
Do you think that they're having that conversation with her? Because, I mean, Tyler's not saying anything, so we ain't got to worry about him. Ashley's the one who's kind of ruining like this whole carefully marketed scheme that they're setting up to come at us with the BS. She's ruining it.
But he's talking.
Who, Tyler?
Yeah.
What is he saying?
Mum's the word. He just saying he happy to be here and putting on that smile. I'm happy to be married. Love is blind. I'm happy. Wish y'all were happy too. That's all Tyler doing.
That's the point that I'm making, though. Like, what is the strategy at this point? It doesn't seem like Love is Blind has any control over these people. They're not the only couple, by the way. They don't have any control over editing. You have piss poor production right now, and now it's like post-production. You can't even control these people and what they're saying. You can't even like hold the strategy in place. I'm just wondering what is being said right now. I don't know. That's just the thoughts that I'm having.
What's being said, and I'm going to give an unpopular opinion that we kind of see. What's being said is you're going to go on the media platforms we tell you to go on. You ain't going to come to the community and have a word. You can't even go to Gayle King. I'm sorry. You're going to go to the gentle souls that we put you on who won't push back on you. Because you ain't going to come to the cookout and have the whole family looking at you asking some strong questions. That's what Love is Blind is doing. We don't need you to put this to a scratching halt. But what I do need is for, some protections in place for these people. All I would need Love is Blind to do for something like this is, put in prenups for these people. Put in a prenup. That's it. You could go forth and forward with all of these. There are some countries where it is mandatory, so they have to do it. I just would like them to protect people financially. Just put in a prenup. And if I'm sorry, if Ashley needs to fire that friend that did the background check or the cousin or whoever that told her everything's A-okay.
Her
I'm
friend.
sorry. The friend that did the background check. That seemed like they did not pay the $25 to do the deep dive. Okay. So Tyler is talking, but he is playing the corporate game of Love is Blind, Found My Love, and I Am Happy. That's what he playing.
Go for it, Rain.
So the big thing that's happening here is that there's a legal thing happening behind the scenes with Brie or Bri. So from Tyler and Ashley's standpoint, you're not going to get the little coins that we might get from this Love is Blind. Hence why she said donations. Choice of words. Yeah, that's why they're playing up this whole sperm donor. He was helping. They're sticking to the story because in the slimmest of chances that they get some kind of break and they start working with these big brands and these big corporations and production companies, right? Then there's a possibility of Bri getting that money. You think Ashley would have gone through all this for her to take the money? She done put up with a lot, okay? And part of the saving grace, not just her being happy with Tyler, is the financial gain that they are hoping to get from this situation. So that's from that end. From the production company, they are a business and they have PR machines behind them, right? It is not a good look to be this is too messy. The reason they called out the other guy from last year. See, I don't even remember his name. See, I'm gonna forget his name.
Trevor.
He had a mullet.
Trevor.
The reason they called him out is because his mess was like you're messing around, this, that, and the other. This is huge mess, and they don't need to be associated with something like this. So they're also going to help them out to say, just be as minimal as possible. They're not going to say that what to say or not to say. They will be very careful with their words. We suggest potentially just not speaking too much about this. Let's really hone in on your love story, right? That's what I would do if I was their PR anyway. That's that. Now, the other thing in terms of, I lost my train of thought there. What was I talking about?
Talking about Ash and the fact that the Netflix are helping them curate their storyline, etc., etc. That was the last thing you said, baby. Don't worry about that.
You said
I had another point. It was good. Somebody else go. I'm gonna come back. I had another point. It was good. I'm gonna come back.
It'd be like that.
I've got my brain, like that. Guys. I have a child. Forgive me.
What if the angle isn't to save them, but actually this is very much so along the love and hip hop, kind of lens, where it's actually giving them a lot of press, and for their ideal customer profile is going to be women. Their majority of the viewership is going to be women. So I think that this is helping them be able to reach more of their ideal customer profile, which will help them with advertising and with Netflix and overall. So I think it would actually be not necessarily a bad thing from a business standpoint, is monetizing the drama, just because I'm sure there are people who are going to be repeating watching Love is Blind, and they're like, who might not have ever watched this season yet, but are like, dang, this dude got 3 kids. They're tuning in, buying subscriptions, adding in, and that helps out a little bit. I think that they want this because it makes them seem more valuable, especially since they only signed a two-season extension. So they're probably going to go into renegotiations here soon. And they're like, look, we can get the ratings. We got people watching this for not only the 5 weeks, 6 weeks that we have it rolling, but there's a lot of replay value, especially because of all this drama coming up.
So Easton, sign up now and you too can get a Tyler? Is that what you're saying?
I wouldn't say necessarily. Granted, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of contestants that are like, oh, well, I will do better in this, that, and third, or I can be TikTok famous. I just think that they're definitely advertising to the idea that they're a value to Netflix, because we have, like with these shows, like whether it be like Ultimatum, all these shows have a very limited run cycle. The weeks that they're on, that's all we care about. But once they're off, it's done, and they're not they're able to bring in repeat viewers, but not new viewers. This type of drama here is bringing in new viewers because somebody's like, this guy has 3 kids and all this drama is going on. So I think that there's some aspects of that.
Lorraine, you remember your point? Go for it.
Yes, I was actually gonna stand up for them a little bit because they're getting a lot of smoke. If I was to ever go on a show, which I never would, because I would never go on platforms who were talking crazy about me. I say that as someone who's been talking crazy about these people. No way would I. So regardless of what the production company and Netflix is saying, I'm sorry, you can't expect these people to go on platforms where we're going to roast them. Why would I put myself through that? You already roasted me in the comfort of my home. Now I'm going to hear you ask questions from the public, what everybody wants to know. I know what you're going to ask me. I'm not going to do it. So I understand what people are saying, that, you know, the production companies, they're railroading them and they're not. Yeah, that might be the case. But me as a human being, you're not catching me on a platform where you haven't been talking nice about me, where you have been going in on me. I'm going to protect myself. So regardless of whether, you know, people are right or wrong, like, I'm not going to put myself through that. So I understand why they're not going on certain platforms. I really do, because mental health is a thing. Like, I'm not going to put myself through being berated or being embarrassed just so I can be part of the culture. No,
I hear you on that, to be honest. You know what I mean? And I think, you know, we obviously, you know, been in this lane for a little while. We did Ready to Love, you know what I'm saying to you. We roasted them on there too. Oh, we roasted them. You know what I'm saying to you? Like, this roasting we're giving them is light. Like, Ashley's even lucky. Because had this been Ready to Love, the roasting would have been intense. This is light work. What people are concerned about Ashley. They're not even roasting her like that. They're concerned about her. Ready to Love, we were roasting people. Like, you know what I mean? So, you know, but you're right though. I mean, some people might not want to come on there, on those platforms, which is fair. I'm not even mad at it. Look, I want people to tell their truth. Do you know what I'm saying to you? My thing is though, is that you don't have to even choose people that are roasting. You can choose other platforms that are black orientated, that are not necessarily roasting you, right? You can choose, you know what I'm saying? You can choose those platforms. And I'm not saying that you have to go on the certain platforms that are roasting you per se. Listen, hey, if you didn't want to come here, I would understand. You know what I'm saying? We're giving a bit of heat. But the reality of the situation, and this is my thought process now. It's funny you said this, Lorraine, as well. Before I did this live, I was thinking in my head like this. You know, I think we have, as YouTubers, so much more power. It's the same thing I did with Ready to Love. After a while, I said, listen, because what happened was when Owen reached out, when Owen was seeing it, they were blocking interviews. I said, don't worry then, I'll just do my thing. And the bigger you become and the more influential you become in that space, the more power you have. So the only difference is that we don't have that much power on Love is Blind because it's not just a black audience. There's a white audience too. So the only thing that needs to happen is that the YouTubers get together and start creating content as we are doing and unifying. The moment we start unifying and we have power to influence what story is being told, that we don't give a heck about what your story is on the other side, they're going to have to come here. Because now you have to convince us. But the reality of the situation is we've got some other counterparts that are willing to do some certain work at this moment. And because the audience is quite large on their side too, demographic-wise, this is why they can get away with doing this and saying they don't come to no black platforms. Certainly, you know what I'm saying to you? For now. But the tables always turn. Do you see what I'm saying to you? That's why more and more people are starting to talk more from Love is Blind. At the beginning, nobody was talking like Love is Blind. They wouldn't say anything. It's coming out slowly. This is how it happens. And then people start talking more and more. So it will start happening. The tide will turn. And when it does, then you'll start to realize that they don't have as much power as they used to. But for now, y'all got the power. When you piss off the wrong person on that show, they're going to take it to somebody that they're going to talk to. You know what I'm saying to you? Then it's going to start the carnage that we had. You know what I'm saying to you? It's like when I had Ayana on the thing, it was out of the blue. You know what I mean? So it will happen. It just takes a bit of time, but trust me, that tide will turn. And all that, you know, we don't want to come to no platform like there. We want to make sure we protect them from going there. You're going to find out that when the power's on that side and you need them to be able to tell a story, you're going to come here. It just takes a bit of time. Do you know what I'm saying to you? But yeah, it's, you know, it's what it is. You know what I'm saying to you? Easton, last thought, and then we'll pass it on to next couple will do. Go for it, because you want to say something.
No, we can just move on. Actually, matter of fact, I'll say this last thing. To Coach's point, there is a growing. It seems like there's a swell growing within the Black YouTube community, especially kind of commenting on these shows, especially kinetic shows. But there's still a huge white consumer base that they're going to cater to. That's why I'm not going to say it, but we know the particular ones that they tend to go to, and they throw them the softball questions. I guess we just got to keep pushing the boundaries with these kind of storylines. But this is one of the first time, maybe outside of the SK1 storyline, where there is drama that is appealing to a more urban crowd, or more in terms of from a Love Is Blind's perspective. If there's a threshold of 20 V1s and Ready to Love is kind of in that area, and then the further you have Love Is Blind, Bachelorette is a little bit further down on the other end of the spectrum. And so I just think that as the tides turn, we'll start to get more of those conversations, and we'll get probably better hosts, because Nick and Vanessa are god awful too.
I hear that. They definitely coming here, but no worries. Cool. So moving on to the next couple. I mean, I said it last year, so no way. Moving on to the next couple we're going to talk about is we're going to discuss we're going to discuss Hannah and Nick on the show. I want to get your opinions on the Nick and Hannah situation. My question is, was it gaslighting from Hannah to Nick, or was it just simply the fact that Nick is a damn liar? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying to you? So was she gaslighting? Okay. Or is Nick a liar? That is my opening question. You know, I like to start with a bit of carnage. Who's willing to take this question on?
I'll take it, because I just want to get my point for you. The issue with this show and these reunions and the court of public opinion and the TikToks and all this other stuff is that it switches so left and right. One episode your team this person, one episode your team this person. Tim, for the most part, was beloved until he ended up breaking things off with Alex, and then everybody's flipped on him. And so we're going into these reunions, and everybody's trying to portray themselves as an innocent victim, somebody who wasn't doing anything, who was just out here looking for love. The point of the matter is, Nick did say that. He said that the girl was a grenade, because frankly, she probably was. And these are just, these are just jokes. But she did glow up. She was looking great at the reunion. That being said, he probably wasn't attracted to her in the beginning. He probably was on there for, I'm for sure he was on there to be famous and be beloved and be the guy who got dog walked by his significant other. But that didn't change the fact that Hannah was extremely mean. And this is mean before she knew anything about what was going on. The problem with that situation was that everybody is trying to craft these narratives that makes him look good, and makes him where they don't get, again, dog walked in the comments of their TikToks. But I believe Hannah in an aspect, but I know that Nick definitely said this stuff, or I don't know, but I believe that Nick did say this stuff, but I don't think that it was the reason why her and she started to be mean to that boy, because she didn't know anything about any of this stuff until at least they met in Mexico, and she was being mean to him as soon as they met. Really, she had negative things to say about him, like saying he wasn't as tall and didn't look like he portrayed himself in the pods when they met after the engagement. So, Hannah, I got a lot more words for you, but for this question, she's gaslighting us at this point.
I just want to say it's funny that Easton wants to see the pictures that's been floating around of Tyler with his kids, but it ain't no video or footage of Nick saying anything. But you gonna roll with that. He said something. We project a lot of our feelings on people. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna say he did or didn't, because he said he was underwhelmed. He did say he was underwhelmed. Okay. But that doesn't mean that he said she was a grenade or anything like that. That's probably somebody else's projecting how they feel about her onto Nick. Because the person who said he said it with his full chest was Steven. And then when they asked him about the conversation, well, he said grenade, but I mean, he didn't really say it in the context of did he say it or did he not say it? Didn't the other boy sitting next to him, supposed to be his boy, sitting right next to him, can't look at him the whole time, but want to tell him, be accountable for what you said. He asked every last one of them, looked them in the eye and said, what did I say? Tell me, what did I say? Tell me what conversations that you and I had that I said whatever I said, so I can stand on whatever I said. Nobody can actually do it. It was word of mouth from everybody around there. Well, this person said it, and that person said it, and this person said it. And my whole gripe with this whole situation ain't even with Hannah no more at this point. It's with Marissa. Because Marissa want to go in defense of Hannah, but be like, hey, I liked you in the pods, Nick. I even defended you. I even defended you against Hannah when she was talking about you like this. But did you ever once bring up to him, hey, I heard you was talking about my girl? As a friend that she called herself to Hannah, you never once asked Nick directly, I heard you was talking, Ramses told me you was talking about my girl. Or I heard you was talking about my girl. Is this true or not? Not one person could sit here and actually say, Nick, you literally told me this. Despite what we may feel about what Hannah looked like, don't look like, and stuff like that, I can't say anything. We didn't get no cuties clip of him doing the stuff or anything like that. We didn't get nothing. So the man that is immature, according to Hannah, don't know how to boil water, don't know how to do this or whatever stuff. He sure enough know how to keep his mouth closed when the camera is rolling. He sure enough know how to have off-camera conversation that nobody could seem to really lock down on what he really said. Yet it was said. It's getting a lot of y'all projecting, but everybody else, this is the funny part, everybody else got a confessional talking about Nick. We even get Monica telling us how she feel about Nick. Yeah, that ain't your man. Why do we care? Everybody in that pods had something to say about Nick when they were sitting in the pods. They didn't like Nick. They made Hannah change her mind, bring him back to change her mind again about Nick. And at the end of the day, we're going to overlook, because we want to say we feel like he said something. We're going to overlook that this lady went through his stuff, found this note with her friends, and going to try to use the note against him when she had her list literally left out on purpose for him, so he can feel bad about everything before. Now, mind you, half of the stuff she was doing, it was before they even met the rest of the group. So she was being nasty to him without knowing how he actually felt. Then at some point, he had to meet with the group, have a conversation with them. At some point, the conversation had to be pillow talked all of this time, and then get back to her for her to be nastier. But she want to sit here and say, oh, this is why. No, excuse me. Monica want to sit there and say, maybe this is why she was projecting some of her insecurities and having this thing about you. No, she felt like this from rip. She felt like that from rip. And Hannah being so direct, as she likes to say, I'm just direct. I'm a B. I'm this, that, and the third. You were so direct. You never once went to him on or off camera and say, why you talk about me? Why you tell the guys this about me? Why you say any of this? She didn't say that to her friends when she told them, the friends, about everything. She didn't tell the friends none of that. She didn't tell her brother none of that. So conveniently, months after, or whenever after the breakup, this is when the conversation come out about her being a grenade. This is what y'all want to stick to? It's like, come on now. Like, Nick might be a lot of things, but it's not giving that he was actually out loud talking about you. This man didn't even want you to talk about his sex game or any of this stuff out in public. Okay, now we can use that part right there to say that he probably did say something, or you probably overheard him saying something to somebody else on the phone or whatever and stuff like that. But let's be honest, if that's the case, let's really be honest. I went through your stuff and I seen that you wrote this in your diary. Whatever the case is, let's be honest about how you found out that information. If that's a true information, if that's true, you know what I'm saying? Like, if it's really true, let's be honest about that part. But y'all just gonna try to paint him a picture. And then when he even tried to save the girl, he tried to tell us, stop sending her death threats. Which y'all really, whoever's doing this stuff, y'all really need to stop. Y'all need to check yourselves into some hospital and stuff like that. If y'all sending people death threats, y'all crazy. Okay, something wrong with you. But he tried to save the girl and say, "Stop there." No. Why you was liking it, girl? You betrayed your own best friend. Told her that you didn't trust her, or whatever. You don't trust the best friend Katie with Nick. But you gonna trust the man that's talking about you. Okay. All right. You trying to gaslight the heck out of us at this point, Hannah. You trying to rewrite all of the story to make it fit better, to make you seem better and justified for what you was doing. You did what you was doing because you wanted to, like you said on that platform, say, I am a B and I act like one, and that's it. She didn't even have no remorse for acting like it really. So it's like, sis, stop. Just stop, because you're making it worse. The best you could have did is came out here and said, you know what, I apologize to you, Nick, for acting this type of way. My insecurities got the best of me. And if he did say something about it, you could have sat there and said, and I heard that you were saying some type of way, and I shouldn't have lashed out on you the way I did, but it made me feel some type of way. But none of that was said. None of that mattered, because it wasn't about him saying anything to her. It's about the fact that I need to figure out a way to make Nick look bad because editing didn't. We'll leave it there for now. We'll get back into the East and I give you.
Made some good points. Who's next? Dahlia, go for it. And then I'll say, sorry, go for it.
Okay, so to answer the question, yes, I think Hannah was gaslighting, and I also think Nick is a liar. But I don't care. I don't care that he lied. I don't care. I don't. You know what I think? Let me just put my dark artist cap on here. I got to congratulate Nick, because I feel like he had an almost perfect season from beginning to end. You know why? Because like Jay just said, he was smart enough to do all his dirt off camera. Whatever he said or didn't say, allegedly, we'll never know, because the only people who know about it are liars. Like, they are known liars. We can't trust anything that anybody says. We don't even know for sure if he actually said the word grenade. All we know is that he was underwhelmed. Even now, even when they're pushing him to say the truth, you're not going to get that out of him. Smart. I can't even fault him for that. That's good. That's good, Nick. That's good. He kept his mouth shut to let Hannah bury herself. He wasn't even like the best of guys, right? On any other season, we would be burying Nick right now. We can't do that though, because of how trash Hannah is. I don't care that he lied. Let's keep it a stack. If he did say that, what would come of him actually telling her that? She just got done telling him, remember, in the pods, she told both him and Leo that she is insecure about her looks. That's something that's really sensitive for her. He knows that. He had to go like really reassure her in order to get her to even say yes to him, that, hey, I'm here for you. This is not about your looks. What would it benefit her or him for him to tell her, I think you're mid. You a whole butterface. Actually, no, maybe not even a butterface, because he may not even like that big back body. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't like big backs. I don't know. It wouldn't benefit anybody for him to say that. There's nothing she can do with that information. See, she can't suddenly get a smaller back. She got what she got, right? It doesn't help her. And also, let's remember the timeline here. When he shared that in confidence with his friends, he was saying that at the start of the trip to Cabo, right? We have no idea how he felt about her towards. Actually, that's not true. We do know how he felt about her, because he wasn't willing to go down on her. I don't think he ever got to liking her, but I think that's more so her fault. I believe that there. But I don't care that's how he felt. What I do care about, we can go down the line here. Who are the people who are attacking Nick right now? We have Hannah, the known liar. Okay, I don't trust anything that comes out of her mouth without third-party verification. We got too many instances of her outright lying or exaggerating the truth. She's hyperbolic. Next, we have Marissa talking about how she defended Nick. No, you didn't, because I remember her telling Hannah in the pods that she should drop Nick because he was unserious. I remember. Pepperidge Farm remembers. Next. So who else we got? We got Oluwa Stephen, the Yoruba demon. Okay. We already know he's a liar. He can't tell the truth to save his life. Next. Who else is it? Ramses. What did Ramses say? Who is Ramses in this whole thing? Can't trust him either. This whole grenade thing, we have no idea what that means. Who's saying the word grenade? Oh, that's right. The liar, Stephen. We can't trust any of that information. We don't even know what that word means. Jay Anderson, he said it in the chat. Was it a grenade character? Was it a grenade as far as her looks? We'll never know because we didn't ask no questions. I don't care. I don't care if he said it. I don't care if he was looking for fame. All of them are. Literally all of them are looking for sponsorship deals. I don't care. He's just the only one who was honest about it. I'm still on Team Nick's side. Sorry, not sorry.
So, grenade, as I remember it in a dating term, I learned from the Jersey Shore. I know. It is one of my good oldies but goodies.
You watched it?
Yes.
Oh, girl.
Yes. You know why? Because it showed me just how crazy we are not. We are not.
Fair enough.
So in Grenade, according to Dating from the Jersey Shore archives, is basically taking one for the team. You know, that girl is not the attractive friend. So you're going to jump on the grenade to save your other friends from having to deal with her. That's how the term is meant and used. And if I'm using it that way, technically, Nick is the grenade. Because Hannah had to jump on Nick to be able to continue on the show. Because once she heard Leo's name on Brittany's lips, she was like, dang, I got to bring Nick back. Now we see Nick and we have buyer's remorse. Now I'm more mad at myself, Hannah, about taking Nick and bringing Nick back on the show. And now I'm saddled with him. And this is what I got to marry? So in the whole thing of it, I think Hannah first was lying to herself. And then she's lying on Nick. So what if Nick is underwhelmed? So what if Nick thinks you were not attractive? Does that mean he has to be nasty to you on camera? Does that mean he has to be showing his behind on camera? He doesn't have to be nasty and mean. He can still think you're unattractive and he can still be polite to you. How about that? How about those social graces? How about I don't like how you look, but I will still treat you like a human being? Why is that so hard, Hannah? Why is that so hard? It seems like Arrested Development. Then you done said on national TV that you done went through his stuff with your friends. And now you're going to bring it as evidence. No evidence that you have no boundaries and no one can have privacy around you. That's the evidence I see. Then you're going to pull Marissa into it. Marissa's like, well, you weren't defending Nick then. And now Marissa's on the daily talk show this morning talking about Hannah and I were not best friends. Sorry, Marissa. The reunion, you said, Hannah's my bestie. Don't be backpedaling now because we heard you. And Netflix still has the clip. So again, Hannah is creating all this, shaking the table. And people are like letting her talk and berate Nick. And Nick is like, there's no way on camera you have me. Tell me and bring the footage where I said it. Tell me where I said it. And Nick was sitting 10 toes down because he's like, you ain't got it because I ain't said it. And I daggone ain't say it on camera. But you know what he did do? He treated her as polite as he could while taking the berating. He ain't financially intelligent, even though he got a job and he's a licensed professional. He can't take the trash out. He can't do this. He can't do that. I never got to show the fun side of Hannah. I don't think there's a fun side of Hannah. We didn't even see the fun side of Hannah in the pods. So miss me with that one. But Hannah, you know, all the heat and smoke she's getting is because of how you treat people. And it isn't because of your appearance. It's because of what you put your personality out there to be. That's all I got to say about Hannah.
I'm hearing these points, man. Yes, Lorraine.
I have an unpopular opinion because I don't believe in groupthink. I don't like Hannah. She can hold my drink for a minute. However, I have an unpopular opinion. When Tim and Alex had their to-do of camera, to-dos, and all these people had their to-dos of camera, people believed what happened off camera. No one saw. It was a conversation that they had. They brought to say, this is what happened. And as at the back of that, people have strong opinions that Alex abused Tim. Somebody just said it here today, that Alex abused him, but we did not see the footage. And we're now saying, oh, just because she's saying that she didn't actually put the hand, we can't believe that because they're just trying to save face. Why is it so easy to turn Alex into a villain, but not Nick? I know it's because of Hannah, because she's a worse villain, but wrong is wrong. Just because Hannah is horrible and she's mean, she's nasty, it don't mean that Nick was not calculated. Okay, he was. 2 weeks before he came on the show, he wrote down that he wants to be the most famous person on Love is Blind, right? Yes, they all come on here for brand deals. No one's coming here for love. I know that, but he wrote that. The only reason that he confessed and said, yes, I said that, is probably because she took a photo and has hard evidence. Because she knows that no one has hard evidence that he said what he said, he's going to take that to the grave. But he said it. I believe he said it. He halfway admitted to it by saying, in the end, it was a hard no. We spent about 10 minutes him denying, I never said it. Somebody say it. Somebody say it. It was only until Ramses said, oh, be accountable, da-da-da-da-da. That's when he just said, I said that I was underwhelmed. If Ramses had not said that, he would have taken that to the grave. He said it. He said it. And I'm not saying that makes him a bad person, but it makes him calculated because he was very intentional to say, I am gonna go out of the pods. Whether or not I'm in love with this person, whether or not we go to the end or whatever, I am going to go. So yes, Nikki D is a very nice person, but you cannot tell me the reason why he let her carry on being a fool is because he knew the good edit that he was going to get. The one thing good that I'm going to say about Nikki D is that he was in control of his edit. I'm going to give him that. Absolutely. He's smart and he knew what he was doing, but that don't mean he's not calculated. That don't mean he's not calculated. He absolutely was. Again, come sa, she's a horrible person, but I just feel like people are not able to see this side of Nikki D because of how horrible Hannah is. Hannah, horrible throughout the season. Now me, how I would have played it, knowing how being bashed I am on social media, I would have done what Ramses had done. Come to the reunion with my tail in between my legs. I'm so sorry. I should not have done that. Esther in the Bible, the reason why she got the king to do whatever she wanted is because of the way that she spoke to the king and the wording that she used. There's power in soft femininity, right? If she had just taken accountability, I'm really sorry, and had been quiet, use a nice tone, being sympathetic, or all those things, regretful, remorseful of all the things that she had done, it might have changed the way that people saw her. But the reason why everyone is now going 10 toes is because she came back to the reunion and was still being horrible. After she said she had apologized and after she said she was wrong, you came back to the reunion and still did the same thing that you did. Now, everyone is not going to listen to the story that you're saying because we're now listening to what you're saying. The fact is, Nick did lie, but however, we seem to forget that because as humans, we remember how things make us feel. We don't like the way that Hannah made us feel because we don't like the way that she made Nikki D feel. She's a horrible person. Yes, she is. And she didn't learn from this because she could have done a whole PR thing on herself and people would have come out thinking, okay, she's not so bad, she's learned, let us hold off on her, but she didn't. And as a result, everyone is going 10 toes down on not caring that Nikki D lied, and would not have admitted it if Ramses did not basically say, I'm not going to say what you said, but so he halfway admitted it. I believe the only reason he admitted to the I'm going to be famous is because she probably showed him the evidence. And he knew that if I don't come up here and say, yes, I did say that, she was going to come out with evidence after the reunion. That's my opinion. I like to be a rebel and to be different.
Before you reply, Ethan, hold on. Before you reply, Ethan, someone said they want to reply. So Dahlia said want to reply, then Jay. Then you can go after Jay. Yeah, you can reply to it. Go for it.
Okay, so I said at the start of my little rant that I do think that Nick lied. I believe that. I believe he was a dark artist. I believe that his strategy, at least by the time he figured out how Hannah operates, he's like, you know what? Let me be quiet and let her dig her own grave. I'm not going to say anything. At minimum, at bare minimum, I will get a sweetheart edit because I'll look like the poor little victim boy because I didn't stand up for myself. I think that's partially at least what happened here. So we're aligned on this. What I just want to remind people of is, let's go back to the pods. When Hannah first broke up with Nick, because she was thinking about going with Leo, he was going to leave. The girls all told her that. The producers are saying that Nick is ready to go. He didn't have anybody else that he wants to be with. So I'm assuming at that point he had already broken it off with Katie and Marissa, because remember, Marissa was also pretty far along with him. So they must have broken it off at that point. The only person that he was dealing with was Hannah. Okay. If it was really that deep to him, he could have been pulling a Matthew or a Barnett, or what all these people do every season, or even a Leo trying to string along multiple people at the same time. It's not like he doesn't have the capacity to do that. If he was really just there to get fame and make sure that he, no matter by hook or by crook, he makes it through the pods, right? He could have done that, but he didn't. He was willing to go. Hannah's the one who brought him back. Okay, just want to remind people of that. Also, Hannah got a big mouth. If Nick was treating her poorly, if he was speaking to her poorly, if he was doing to her what Tim was doing, even like that whole passive aggressive thing, she would have called him out on it immediately. I do not believe that she would have let that go. No, there's no way. On camera or off camera, she would have. If she had any form of attack, any form of weapon to use against him for an attack, she would have used it. And that didn't happen. Really, the only thing that she had on him was the fact that he didn't do anything with her, the fact that he wasn't affectionate with her, the fact that he wouldn't, give her fellatio. Like that's really the only thing that you can call him out on, is the fact that there was a lack of affection. That's really it, which actually speaks more to his character, because he's at least in line with what he's feeling about her. He could have attacked her, and he really didn't. He didn't come at her like he really rightfully could have. I disagree with that. I had another point, but I done forgot it. I'm pulling a Lorraine right now. I don't remember my last point, so I'm gonna give it over to Jay. But I just wanted to say that piece. So go ahead.
Okay. So first, we're gonna start off with his goal list. He said it twice. When Hannah wasn't listening, and apparently some of us wasn't listening. And then another time right afterwards, that was a 90-day goal he wrote. And the end date was 2 weeks before he got into the pods. He said it twice. He said it when he was trying to explain the goals. He started off, that was my end date. I write 90-day goals. That was my end date. She said, when she screamed, no, you did that 2 weeks before. He said, no, again, that was my end date. He stuck with that story. So he wrote his goals long before he thought he was going to be on there. Just like Dahlia said, she had a chance to dismiss this man off the thing. He didn't fight for it. He didn't do anything. He was ready to pack his bags up and leave. Does that look like somebody that's trying to be the famous person on the show? He wasn't sitting here trying to manipulate none of the girls. He told all the girls the same story. I played football. I was a kicker, this, that, and that. All the girls came back with the same thing. He's doing too much. Katie even sat down and had a heart-to-heart with him and said, just be a little bit more you. Just be a little, stop leading with this part of you. Lead with this other part of you. You're trying to impress us just a little too much or whatever. That's somebody that's genuinely being themselves in the pod. That is sitting here just like I'm trying to see which one of y'all actually like me or whatever. This man took us to his house, which he lives in the basement of his mom's. He didn't go and get no Airbnb. He didn't do nothing fancy or nothing like that. This Nick gave us Nick. And we can believe what we want to believe because, again, we project some of our feelings onto people. But he's this calculated that literally he sits off camera, says this conversation with somebody, and nobody really can sit here and tell him verbatim what he said in the conversation. Even if it's a year later, y'all cannot stand on 10 when y'all are asked, what did he say? Ramses didn't even say what he said. Ramses, you supposedly told Marissa what he said. You told him to confess. He said he's underwhelmed. He said it on the show. He was underwhelmed. So to sit here and be like, he's a liar and he did all of these things or whatever, still doesn't justify Hannah being how Hannah was to him. Because at the end of the day, Hannah sat on this platform and told us, I don't even understand why he allowed me. So you were intentionally being nasty to this man. You don't understand why he allowed me to do these nasty things to him. If anything was being calculated, is being calculated on holding his tongue on being nasty back. Am I be mad at a person for not doing it? Because now we faulted Alex for fighting and cussing this man out, which we didn't see on camera, right? But you know why we can all sit there and stand on that? Because she said it. She told us that she put her hands on him. So we got to believe what she say. That's why we can sit here and say, some of us, I'm not saying that he assaulted or whatever and stuff like that, but that's how we can sit here and strongly say she assaulted this man because she said it. Tim didn't even say it. She said she did that. She admitted that. You got 6, 7, 8 people on this panel trying to sit here and tell him to say something he says he didn't say. This is like the Central 5 or whatever and stuff like that. You got police sitting here trying to make them say what they didn't do. I didn't do it. So why is it hard to believe a person when they say they didn't do something? If I got to fight everybody in here and I'm going to stand on my thing, I didn't do it. So that I didn't do it. If Ashley want to tell us that she believed everything that the people done told her and stuff like that, then let her believe it. So we should be able to believe Nick when he said he didn't do it. Because none of these people actually provided any proof that he actually said these things. They transcribed what they believed him to say. They took, he's underwhelmed and said, oh, well, he'll land on a grenade for us. Did y'all run back the conversation and say, hey, like, I don't know who said it, who asked, what does grenade mean? What did the grenade mean to you when you said that? If he said grenade, why you say she a grenade? Why that? In comparison to who is she a grenade? All the ladies here? It could have been just the easiest, I don't like her personality. It's not had nothing to do with her looks. To Hannah, it was about her looks. She never factored in, it was about her personality. Nobody asked him, why were you underwhelmed? We just assumed that it was about her looks. You see how this assumption thing goes out? Nobody asked their actual questions to Nick. How did you actually feel about her overall? Was it her looks, her personality? What was it that turned you off about this girl? This woman sat here and told us, we want to believe what she says, but she sat here and told us that she has to initiate the sex and then went and told Ashley that his sex is trash. Why are you initiating trash sex? If he ain't initiated, I ain't initiated it. I'm going to let it be. It's trash. You got mad at this man for riding on the ducks and told us that the lady called you a bee, a jealous bee. which we never said. And then her story changed every time she told somebody the daggone story. Nick has not sat here and deferred from anything. He let Hannah tell his story. Hannah told us that he don't know how to balance a checkbook. Hannah told us that he don't know how to boil the water. He don't know how to take out the trash. He can't walk the dog. He can't tie his shoes. He can't do. Hannah told us she made him a man. The one thing that Hannah did was true, and that helped his thing be true, is make him a daggone star. That's what Hannah did. Because had she not brought him back, we would not be talking about Nick. Had she not run that man down the drain like he did, we would not be talking about Nick. So can we give a person a credit for not sitting here and being nasty to a person publicly? Regardless, we could be nasty in our head all day. We'd be nasty to people in our head all day. But he never was nasty, as far as we know, out loud about this lady. So can we not just give him his credit on that part? We're going to just try to find something. He has to be wrong for some reason. Just because he's on this show, he has to be wrong. He was wrong for sitting here choosing this lady and trying to stand by. What he was wrong for is letting her abuse him. That's what he was wrong for. He should have put his foot down there. He really should have said something there. That's what he's definitely wrong for. Sitting and trying to take abuse for I don't know what reason. Now, if he was trying to be a star on that part, well, that he a fool for that. We can fault him on that. Okay, because that's not good either. You just sit in a relationship and allow somebody to just abuse you and you carry on or whatever. But she called it quits. And then she tried to double back. She tried to circle back. He didn't even let her back in. Why would you circle back on a man that called you a grenade? So again, we got to ask, when did you find out he called you a grenade? Because you're making it seem like he did it in the course of the show or whatever and stuff. But you're still sitting here trying to tell us that these women is all in your DMs trying to get flewn out after the fact by Nick. So you still bothered by this? Why are you still bothered by women in your DMs telling you about Nick trying to fly them out anywhere when he called you a grenade and you called it quits? That's all I'm trying to say. If he did the stuff, why is everybody still trying to say, Nick, but you're a good guy, but you did it. You were great in the pods, but you know you did it. It's always this you were, but when it comes to Nick, we're trying to sit here and villainize him for what reason? We got a whole bunch of other villains on this daggone show. Okay, we got a lot more villains. Hell, even Jared is a little bit more a villain than Nikki is right about now, okay? Because Jared lied in the minute he lied. But I'm just saying, just leave that man alone. He just barely made it out of his mama's basement. Let him breathe a little bit. Hopefully his place is cleaner than Alex.
They didn't even talk about his house. Can you believe that? That man got a whole house. They didn't even congratulate him on it. That's dirty.
Easton, go for it.
I'll be short, but Lorraine, I find it interesting that you called Nick calculated, but Hannah wasn't calculated when she moved to LA, got her an agent. When she quit her job before the show, she wasn't calculated then, but Nick's calculated. I just find it very interesting that you would do that on my brother Nick when he was just trying to write some goals down, trying to accomplish some things. And he's the one who's calculated. He's just trying to achieve greater. My boy was in his mama's basement and he's just trying to make a way, but he's calculated. So Lorraine, I find that interesting, but hey, we gonna let that go. I think that this argument and most of the reunion was summed up between the sisterhood versus the mandem. Like you could see it from as soon as you saw Tim sassy self cross his legs and he was over here just like shaking his head. I knew it was gonna be the guys versus the girls the whole time through. And the issue with the mandem is pillow talk. Ramses, Steven, they talked and they shared something that shouldn't have been shared. That was the issue with the mandem. Although Captain America, Garrett, he was over here chirping for even though it was the wrong people, he was holding it down. My boy was holding it down. Oh, I think it's him. I think it's just embarrassing, and it's just a waste of time with the whole Tyler and Ashley situation. He was holding it down. The problem with the man them is that they were pillow talking, and when eventually the chicken's gonna come home to roost, and the issue with the sisterhood is that y'all will go on a crash dummy mission and not have all the facts. Marissa was just talking, not knowing nothing. Monica was just chirping in, knowing both of y'all got dudes that was telling y'all half truths. So the problem with the sisterhood is y'all will lean in and lock in on something that wasn't the truth. Hannah probably gassed these girls up like, yeah, girl, you know, Nick, he had this letter from yesterday talking about how he wanted to be famous, and that just made me feel bad. Meanwhile, they over here just jumping on my boy. But I found it interesting, Lorraine, that everybody was calculated, and maybe Hannah was just as calculated with how she shared that information with the sisterhood. But hey, I'll digress, and we'll go back into the next portion.
Thank you very much, Easton. Lorraine, you're free to come back, Lorraine. He's finished now. You know, I appreciate all you guys'
Lorraine
opinions.
said, F
Killing
them
me.
kids.
Yeah. I said, toodaloos. She said, not this week.
Love you, Lorraine.
We've already done this dance.
You're trying to catch me slipping. I have a whole channel on femininity, and you want me to call you out your name in these streets. Oh,
See,
wow.
Lorraine, see, he's trying to pull a hand on you. Don't let him do it. Be a Nick. Be a Nick.
He's making a sport out of triggering
Don't
me.
give in, baby.
know
Give him the
it.
femininity.
Be like Esther. Be like Esther.
Don't let him pull you in. Don't let him pull you in, Lorraine.
The Holy Spirit
Gather
is
him
flowing
eloquently.
through you right now.
Say it off camera, Lorraine. No,
Say behind the scenes if we can't prove it.
I had to turn off the camera to compose, okay? Mama Esther is back. Because Delilah had entered the chat.
Oh.
No, listen, I am happy to be wrong. I am happy to be wrong. However, I am going to stand 10 toes down on my opinion, right? I don't like Hannah. I literally said that I dislike her. I think she's not a nice person. I think she's horrible. But I found Nick to be performative in the pods, even before the reunion. I found him to be performative. I did not think he was genuine. Yes, he was leading with the whole flirting, this, that, and I just did not think that he was genuine. I don't think that we would love Nick if he was paired with somebody else. If he was paired with somebody who was sweet, nurturing, softly spoken, I don't think we would have this much love for him. Do I respect the fact that he was able to be respectful and hold composure? Absolutely. I think that's the humanly thing to do. I absolutely respect that. I don't think he deserved the way that Hannah spoke to him. However, whether he wrote that goal in 2009 or in 2000, he wrote the goal. He wanted to be famous. They all want to be famous, but he made the mistake of writing it down. They all want to be famous. That's why they're on there, right? But you can't tell me that I only came on this show for love. Da, 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 da. You can't cape him when he literally wrote it down. Yes, Hannah quit her job, and they all listen. I went on about Ashley and the fact that she did her little makeup tutorials. Every single one of them is there for fame. So all I'm saying is, why are we not able to compartmentalize? Hannah's a horrible person. I don't like her. She's mean. But I'm not trying to villainize him and say that he's a horrible person. I'm just trying to no one is perfect. The way that people are talking about Nikki D is that he can do no wrong. His ish don't stink. And that's the only thing that I don't agree with. I'm not trying to make him into a bad person. I'm just trying to show some similarities in some of the behaviors that he has that people are villainizing. That's all that I'm doing. He came on there for fame. and he didn't leave in the pods. But no, he was about to leave, not because he broke up with Katie. Katie broke up with him. He said that. That's why they had that conversation where he was trying to find out, why did you this, that, and the other. We don't know if he broke up with Marissa. He had to leave because he had no other connections. Why would he? That's what happens when you don't have any other connections. You had to leave. But Hannah, because she saw that Brittany, she was going to lose when it came between her and Brittany, she brought him back. So that's why he was able to stay. But if she didn't want him, he would have left. Not because he's high and mighty and he's doing the right thing, but that's the way that the show goes, right? And he said she was underwhelming when he saw her at the reveal. Those were his words. So we can't say we don't know what was it about Hannah that he found underwhelming, because he said that at the reveal he found her underwhelming, and that's his prerogative. It's his opinion. But you said it. Like, I don't understand why we're trying to cape him and make him into this angel that he can do no wrong. Look at all these good things that yes, I can appreciate all the goodness of Nick, but we can also talk about the things that are not so good. And the same way that I can talk about Hannah and say that I don't like her, why are we not able to compartmentalize and see both? It's not just black and white. There's a gray area. And I fear that because people don't like Hannah so much, they are blinded to some of Nick's weaknesses. That's all I'm saying. But I'm happy. We don't have to keep on going back and forth. I'm happy to say y'all won, but I'm gonna stand 10 toes. You're not gonna change my mind.
Appreciate it.
Here's my thing. I'm not trying to win or lose or whatever, stuff like that. My thing is because the comment was about what he said as far as the grenade. We know he didn't like her. He couldn't get it up for her. He wouldn't go down on her. He don't like her. Okay. It ain't much I got to be said. If we want to say he was being intentional, he intentionally rolled those ducks when she said she ain't going to do it and had a good time doing it. Okay. We already know what he can't do. She made a point to let us know where he was lacking to be in a marriage on a lot of things, regardless of if we want to believe that he can do those things or not. But that's not the point of the matter. It's the point of that they decided that they were going to come on this thing and they decided that they were going to try to villainize Nick. That's why we're actually having this conversation. It's not about if Nick is right or wrong or if he's capable of doing all of these things. It's that these ladies chose to come on this platform, join together and villainize Nick. We all seen Nick's wrongs. Sean made it a point to highlight every last one of Nick's wrongs on every single panel. Okay? Sean is not letting off of Nick's neck. His foot is stuck on Nick's neck. All right? It's not that point. The point is, what I'm actually saying is, why do we have to try to sit here and pick this one thing when Nick has so many other things? We don't have to worry about what he actually said about Hannah. He don't like the girl. And it's fine. They didn't choose each other. At the end of the day. The point is just that these women got on this platform and decided that they're going to go on a witch hunt and came up with nothing. Literally came up with nothing. So why are we trying to create something that didn't exist for them? That's the thing. They didn't choose each other at the end of the day. We could have watched them go all the way down to the end if she decided not to call it off before the dress shopping, and he might have just said, I don't want to do it. And then we could have sat there and been talking all kind of ish to Nick. What, this, or we could have sat there and been like, you're right, you shouldn't have did this or whatever. But she didn't give him that option either. I'm going to say it again. His biggest flaw is literally letting her dog walk him on a daily basis. Like, what kind of man are you? We could look at it like that. And I'm not trying to change your stance on it or whatnot, because he probably did say he could have said all kind of horrible things about her off camera, but we don't have no proof. That's my actual point, is we don't have the actual proof. There's no actual concrete evidence, and none of these people could stand on 10 as strong as you are, Lorraine. They need you up there. They needed you up there to help them out, because Marissa was failing miserably. She outed her own goddamn self. She stood on 10 Allen herself trying to help Hannah. You have a better shot because I actually believe your version than I believe Marissa's version. Okay. And you have no idea who these people is. So that's really all I'm really saying. It's not about being right or wrong, Lorraine. You know, you're fair to have your view on it. He probably did say something. I'm not going to deny it. He said he was underwhelmed when he first did see her. That's what he confessed to us. He did say it. He stood 10 on that part. He said, that's what I said. I mean, it did have to be drug out of it, but at the end of the day, sometimes people are not trying to just be intentionally nasty to a person that they know have an insecurity, regardless of how they actually treated him. And that's one thing I'm going to say on Nick is I'm not going to make him a saint, but sometimes that lesson right there is that despite how people treat you, you do not have to stoop as low as they do sometimes. Sometimes you can actually be the bigger person and say, you know what, I'm just going to want better for myself. And that's what I wanted Tim to do. You lead with, sometimes you got to teach people how you want to be treated. And that how you do that is by leading, by teaching, showing them how you want to be treated, by leading in that regards of saying, I'm not going to stoop down to your level. I'm not going to be as nasty as you. I don't have to go that far with you. You're not actually worth it to me. And that's what Nick told Hannah. You're not actually worth me going that low with you. I'm going to pray for you, sis. I hope you get the help that you need. In so many words. So hopefully she get the help that she needs. And hopefully, he learned how to boil some damn water at this point. You know what I'm saying? So we'll get to it.
He said he did. He said he did on the morning show.
Did he know where to put the pasta? In the refrigerator?
Yeah. You know how much water in the pot. You know how much pasta. And the host said, hey, y'all, Nick ready to make dinner for y'all.
What about them baseboards?
Cuz I got one last point before you move on. Okay, so Lorraine, I actually happen to agree with you as far as Nick is concerned. Because I do think we can compartmentalize this. I stand behind the fact that Hannah is an emotional abuser, and I do think that they were intentionally trying to throw him under the bus. And I think Love Is Blind led them to take the heat off of Tyler and Ashley. I stand behind that. We're going to get to her in a second. But as far as Nick is concerned, yes, you're right. Especially in the pods, I do feel like he was trying to pretend to be something that he's not. And the women could sense it. They didn't even see this man, and they can just sense that something is off about him. And I know you said that you have a femininity channel. I don't know if you ever do like reviews or whatever, but it would be cool to do a review on like the power of femininity, like Katie versus Hannah. Because they said the exact same thing, but two entirely different ways. And you could tell Nick was listening to what Katie was saying. And I think if Hannah's drunk behind hadn't tried to confront him about Katie, he probably would have processed that a little bit longer and maybe done something with that. I don't think that he would have. I don't think that he was a lost cause in the pods. What he needed was what Zach got with Bliss. He needed a Bliss because Zach did the same thing. If you guys remember, when he first came to the pods, he was, joking about he was a stripper and all that other stuff. And then eventually he ran into Bliss. He was like, you know what? Let me just keep it a stack with you and just be vulnerable. And I think that if Nick had a Bliss, somebody who he felt safe with, we probably could have got that. Because again, and I'm going to keep saying this, we only know Nick through Hannah's eyes. All this talk about him being incompetent and all that stuff is because that is what Hannah is saying. And we already know her to be a liar. I don't even want to belabor that point. We're gonna move on from that. But as far as the reunion is concerned, at the risk of activating Easton, I do think there's a conspiracy against the menfolk. I do. I think they were way too soft on her. I do notice a pattern with this as far as the women are concerned. Not to say that they won't acknowledge it, but I do think that they can be a little soft and they don't go nearly as hard on her as they could. That whole thing with Zainab and Cole and the cuties orange, they had that footage and they sat on it and didn't do anything with it until after the reunion already aired, which is crazy to me. Like, why would you do that? I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay with the fact that they really let her do that. They could have had the same amount of drama with Hannah just by letting Vanessa hold her feet to the fire. Because Vanessa's good for that. She's good for dragging people. She just don't drag the right people. And I don't understand why they couldn't just stay on Hannah's neck, because that girl will be spazzing out right now if somebody held her neck to the fire, held her feet to the fire, put they feet on her neck, and like said, hey, why did you do this to this man? Why are you being so cruel? But they didn't want to do that. And I'm sorry, I'm not okay with that. So yeah.
Listen, I hear it. Y'all on point. All right, let's shift it because we got to do Marissa and obviously Ramses and well, damn, people are loading up. Marissa and Ramses. Marissa and Ramses, and obviously, I kind of missed the point because we actually didn't talk about Hannah and Kate actually, but we can fit that in after. Marissa Ramses, the mother. Okay. So I want to get you guys' thoughts because I don't even know what would my question be in this situation. Here's my question: was Marissa's mother? Was Marissa's mother having a come to Jesus moment when she saw her daughter, remonstrating and outing herself about, giving up the pums to a man that she said she ain't trying to go back to? You know what I'm saying to you? Because the mother that she was having a come to Jesus moment, I promise y'all. So I want to get you guys' thoughts. What's your thoughts with this situation? People are ready? Yes, go for it, Easton.
She saw a younger version of herself in Marissa at that moment. She thought that she raised this daughter that was going to be a lawyer, that's killing it. And she, at that moment, noticed, no, we come from the same tree. We come from the same ground. This is my daughter. Because to me, I feel vindicated. I'm just going to let y'all know now. This is my victory lap because I told y'all last week before the reunion show that Marissa was the problem. It was, no, we got to dismantle the patriarchy, and Ramses was acting and he was woke fishing and this and that and this and that. Oh no, we on the victory lap today because y'all had to let Marissa. I've seen women like Marissa. Y'all had to let them hang themselves, and Marissa hung herself in that entire reunion. The problem with and then even let's just continue to extrapolate that. She had the audacity to pop out with her significant other this Halloween. But a couple weeks ago, you over here outing yourself for hooking up with Ramses sometime throughout this past year. I just find it really interesting that with Marissa, we don't put a lion's share of the blame. Yes, Ramses had a lot of issues. Yes, but a man like Ramses probably saw that there's some trends and there's some inconsistencies. Marissa's mama at the end of the day saw that, yes, you are me and I am you. And the only thing is you have a little bit better paint and a newer paint on it because you don't have kids and you have a law degree. But other than that, we are one and the same. And I just feel vindicated right now. We'll get to more of the questions about Marissa, but man, she is, I don't want to say that she is a head case, but I don't understand why she was caping for this, for Hannah, for this white woman. She was caping so hard. She was caping like she was Johnny Cochran. Why are you defending this woman with no evidence? 100 lashings for the sisterhood. Then she over here going out Ramses. Ramses was really trying to be nice, but he, got thrown under the bus. So we gonna talk about all that stuff a little bit later. But at the end of the day, I just feel like this is my victory lap. Once Kojo gets some more intricate questions about Marissa, but yes, Marissa's mom, when she announced that she still had relations with Ramses, saw that, yes, I was dumb then and she is dumb now.
When they get Easton, they're going to get Easton. Go for it, Jay. They're going to gather you up.
I know.
There's nothing I can do to stop it. They're going to gather him up.
I know Marissa's mama wanted a throat chop. She wanted to take that throat chop she wanted to give Ramses and send it right over to Marissa. Katie had to hold her down. She said, half up and piece of your butt back together. You just gonna sit here and ruin all my hard work. And you know what? I felt that mama too. I felt that mama because this is like, you know, when you watch your girlfriend keep going back, you done fought the people for the girlfriend and she keep going right back to him. She keep going messing with him. This is what it was. She was like, Heifer, I'm sending you to law school, and this is the best defense you're gonna get is out yourself. And listen, Easter, you wasn't alone saying that she was a problem because I told you the girl was sitting there not asking no real questions in the pod, not listening to the things that he was saying. She's willing to stay in a relationship for 5 to 7 years, unhappy. And it sounds like in the beginning of it too, like it's not even like we've been 20 or 50 years in, and we might have this little spot right here where we'd be unhappy, but she willing just sacrifice it all right now. She's sliding off the couch still at the reunion and stuff. Hannah ain't even picked her up. But my whole thing is you had a lot of words for Nick, but you couldn't even get through any of them without tears falling down your face for Ramses. Not one word was said without a tear. It's, just give me a second. But you got all this vitriol for Nick. And the fun fact is she was actually talking to Ramses when she was saying stuff to Nick. Some of her things was for Ramses. She was hoping that he indirectly hear it. But Ramses don't care. He told you no 6 months ago, girl. At 6 months after, y'all was still messing around. So, ma'am, like, I know that mama was on like, y'all hold me all the way back because I'm about to take her to the back right now and give her some 10 lashings. The heck is happening? Just embarrassing. I know you have to be embarrassed. Come on, ma'am. This is what I raised. She was like, this the child I raised? Seriously? I'm spending all my daggone money to put you through. Like poor mama. I mean, she just gave that heartfelt thing she tried to make Ramses feel bad too. She just tried to make Ramses feel bad. I had to sit there. You weren't there while I had to piece my girl back together and put all the parts. Well, of course he ain't there, child. That's not his place. You her mama. She was mad that she had to have a polite conversation with him, that she almost told him just go ahead and take her back, just to find out he was taking her back. You know what? We gave mama a hard time for calling her a B, but maybe she was on to something.
He was taking her back out.
Right. She should have added a stupid B before that. Let me stop. I ain't gonna be serious at this point right now. I really can't, because this was just crazy to me. I was just like, this is just really crazy. I felt bad. I actually felt bad for the mama. I didn't even feel bad for Marissa or Ramses anymore. I felt bad for the mama because it's just like, child, have I not taught you anything? Have you not learned from all of my mistakes? Have you not learned any daggone thing? And like you said, Issa, she just was having a come to Jesus moment because she said, damn, this is me all over again. It'd be like that. Go ahead.
So yeah, if y'all remember, I was being vilified along with Easton for saying Marissa was just too much. She was too much for me. And she's still too much. And all the good edit has been washed away. All the great edit. All the boohoo crying. When I said I didn't shed a tear for her crying on that floor in the living room, y'all were on my neck. Hey, who crying now? Because mama looked like she gonna be crying and yelling in the car ride home. I just hope Marissa has a ride, because she would have to hear that from her mama the whole car ride home. But I said, Marissa, the up and down for me when someone's personality is like Marissa, so hype, there has to be a down. And my thing is, when the downward spiral hit, how far down are we going? And we see the downward is you're going to go down with your friend and you're going to attack her man for her, even though she's been fighting the battle herself. and then you gonna out our business. See, that's my thing. You can yap with your friend, but don't be outing our business in the middle of all this. Now your mama mad at me. Now I thought we were done with everything. Now I gotta run out of this green room real quick because your mama gonna be hot on my heels too. But Marissa is, for me, not compartmentalizing everything properly. You should have heat for the man who actually hurt you rather than hearsay with your friend. So yeah, she is a clear example of the edit can be washed away with one episode at the reunion. Because Marissa out here fighting too on Instagram, got a new beau. Yeah, but you was on Ramses not 6 months ago, according to you. The reunion was only taped last month. You got, all this, other stuff going on with your life. Your life is just so happy and so grand. You throwing out a whole lot of glitter so we don't see the foolishness that's behind it. I'm sorry, we see it. We see it. And now you rolling back saying, Hannah isn't my best friend. We aren't best friends. And I apologize to Nick. Now I can't trust your word. Because if you're supposed to be my friend and you rolling back real quick once a camera in your face, and because you got a bad edit at the reunion, now I can't trust anything you say. You just scrambling right now. So again, I didn't know all it was with Marissa. For me, it was just her energy. Once it go up, it got to come down. And now we seeing the crash landing. And Mama see it too. I am so glad Mama was front and center to be a witness. Because now she clearly sees, I put you back together for you to go back with that one? Okay, we're going to have words on the way home.
Put you back together to get broke off again.
Get your back broke off. And you ain't even get him.
I just feel so embarrassed for Dolly. I know you got to go next. Real quick, I just feel embarrassed for the new boyfriend because you posted me, and a couple of weeks ago you talked about how you was over here with Ramses some months ago or so. So I again, Marissa, stay clear from her. Continue with the victory lap.
You know what? I'm gonna give you guys your victory lap. Y'all deserve it. You do. I have an unpopular opinion about Ramses. I'll wait till Kojo gets to that question. But as far as this question, I think Marissa's mom was in mourning because she realized that she raised a bird. She raised a bird. Like, my God, today. This lady, she gave all of her cool points that she accrued over a season, gave it to Hannah, of all people. If you're going to give it to anybody, Hannah don't need no help. Hannah was the base for her cheerleader squad. She's the one supporting people. She's not the high flyer. She don't need no help. You don't give it to her. She does. And Hannah wasn't helping her at all either. That's the messed up part. Hannah was mum's the word when it came to her. Nobody was helping her. Yeah, I do think that as far as Marissa's mom is concerned, oh, God. You know what's funny to me is that she was making comments to Katie talking about how Hannah wasn't a good friend to her. Like, she'd been talking behind her back for a year. It sounds like loyalty is a big deal to her. And yet you have raised a woman who spreads her loyalty willy-nilly. And I think that's probably what really got her. It's like, you, not only are you a bird, you a disloyal bird. That's a bad day right there.
Because why would you go back to right? So why would you go back to a man disrespecting you, like you said, who not respecting your boundaries, who not, it's like all this how can I say, thesis paper on Ramses and how much of a terrible man he was. It's like, girl, you running back to him?
Yeah.
But if bird is the word, bird is the word. If bird is the word, how's she disloyal? Because she's loyal to bird behavior. That's bird behavior, right? Running back to the man and doing these type of things. So she's not disloyal. She's loyal to the bird behavior. So y'all want people to be loyal to you. You got to figure out what they're loyal to. Okay. That's the thing. She's loyal to being that. The D. She's loyal to the D. Okay. Let me not interrupt Lorraine though. She hasn't gone.
I have a lot of smoke for Marissa's mum. I do. Yeah. As a mum myself, I just did not appreciate the fact that she went back to Ramses begging on behalf of Marissa, because, yes, she's heartbroken. You hold her down. You are there for her. You pick up the that is your job as a mom. He's not supposed to be there. You're supposed to do that. Number one. Number two, you're supposed to be pouring into her, telling her how amazing she is, how she doesn't need him, how all these qualities that she has. You're trying to be her friend by going back to this man to say, oh, can you take him back? They have a tumultuous relationship, and it was very, very evident. And I think because of that, because of their not so great relationship, sometimes she tries to be Marissa's friend so that there's to keep the peace. And I think she did that with Ramses. She saw there was something about him she didn't like. Aside from the whole physical jokes that she was making, the reason why she was going hard, there was something about him she did not like. However, the wedding dresses, she was, oh yeah, he's great, he's doing this. And I feel like she was doing that for Marissa, not because she genuinely believed that he was the right person for her, which is why she said, I'm happy that you broke it off, because she knew that they weren't good for each other. And she knew that Marissa would not have been the one to do it. If you love, which you do, you love your daughter so much, you know what's best for her. Obviously, she's a grown-up and she's going to make her own decisions and do what's right for her. But you say your own two-piece and what's on your heart, because from a place of love. The truth hurts. And saying that he's not the right person for you is going to hurt, even in the moment that he has broken you. And I just did not like the fact that she's done that. And now she's trying to put it onto Ramses as to, oh, you did this and you weren't there. We're going to get onto Ramses, but he made the best decision for him. And after you break up with somebody, you don't put them back together. You're the one that broke them. That's not how it works. It's for that person to do. It's for the people around them to do. I don't know why she was surprised that Marissa was saying that she went back. I don't know why she was surprised, because you know your daughter. And the reason why you know your daughter is because she probably has similarities to you. I think she was upset that she said it on national television. I think she already knew, because she knows who her daughter is and she knows her character. And because she knew what her heart was like, she was heartbroken. She knew she was going to go back. You're just upset that she's showing her behind to the world. That's it. I don't think she was surprised, or that's the first time she's heard, or she hadn't had her own suspicions. She was well aware. But I think as a mum, sometimes you have to make a decision to be a mum. There's a time where you want to be a friend. I get it. But your job is not for your child to like you. You want to mold your child to have self-value, to have self-worth, so they don't end up in these same places. If you see that you have patterns in yourself and you don't want that to flip over to your child, then you have to be intentional with the work that you're doing with your parenting style, and also being a good role model. You going and begging Ramses is not going to break the generational pattern of her keep on doing the same thing that you did. So we're all joking about, but I just think that's a terrible representation of motherhood.
All right, I'm hearing it. Everyone's spoken. Okay, so obviously Ramses is also in this situation. So we talked about the mom, but Ramses also was part of the situation. He was as mute as a bird. I mean, he barely spoke. The only time he spoke was to say a little sorry, a little jingle bell sorry, and then he said he didn't dogpile Nick. So I want to know your thoughts on Ramses on this particular situation. Why was he so silent? Why was he so silent yet so loud on Nick? Why was he so silent yet so loud on Nick, letting the man them down? Yes, Easton.
He for sure let the man them down. The problem with Ramses, or what I think about Ramses in the situation, is again, he had one goal. His progressive image has been tarnished. To me, Ramses might have been somebody who was kind of woke fishing, coming across very progressive, and ultimately still kind of being stuck in more traditional ways. But hey, neither here nor there. The problem is his image has been crushed because of this, and so he's constant for weeks and weeks and weeks, especially after their first conversation, the conversation about the contraceptives. He's been getting berated online. So he had one agenda: let everybody know that Marissa and I already had an agreement on what we were going to do in terms of us being intimate, and I was not forcing contraceptives, or I wasn't just trying to hit it raw. That was his goal. He was just hoping, hey, nothing else gets out of the Pandora's box or nothing like that. Meanwhile, Marissa had to open up Pandora's box and let everybody know that they were still intimate weeks and months after they broke up. And she even, I don't understand what goes through Marissa's head. Like, it's got to be a bird brain, because she's been going on interview after interview after interview talking about how she went back, try to get back with like Ramses 3 or 4 times, essentially in the mix of your breakup. You got to hold that to the grave, girl. You can't let them know about that. You got to hold that to the grave, because she comes across now as severely desperate. And again, I know we're talking about Ramses. I honestly don't think there was anything Ramses could have done to make himself seem better. Even if he didn't have the whole contraceptive situation, people would have flipped on him as soon as he made Marissa cry with that breakup. And since we know about the contract structure and how you might have to continue on, even though you don't want to continue on, and Ramses' reasons, wherever it may be, there was no hope for Ramses of having a good edit in this case. And so, in my opinion, Ramses did the best thing he could. It just unfortunately happened to be where Marissa ended up telling up all their business. But Ramses is going to be a villain. The problem is now that Marissa is seen worse than Ramses, but I don't think that there's anything Ramses could have done to do anything good. He just found out that Marissa was not the right person. I had a lot of issues a little bit too late in the game, and maybe waited a little bit too late, but hey, that's semantics. That's my point.
Okay. And your thoughts on this? Ramses was so silent yet so loud on Nick. Talk to me. Yes, Lorraine.
Yeah, okay. I think that Ramses did the best thing that you could do in that situation. I'm sure he probably has PR and management now, because that's what I would have told someone to do. You go there with your tail in between your legs and you show remorse, you apologize, you have accountability. Hannah and Stephen should have taken a leaf out of his book, because Stephen was now trying to gaslight people and all this stuff. And Hannah is, 10 toes down. He was like, I was wrong, and this is why I was wrong. And I'm only going to speak on, when I'm spoken. That's what you do in a situation when you see that, one, you are genuinely wrong, and two, that you are getting a bad reception from people, right? So that's why Marissa couldn't go in on him, because how are you gonna keep on arguing with a man who's saying, I definitely should have told you sooner. My mistake was this, and he appears to be remorseful. He appears to be taking the accountability. She had to take her anger out on Nick, because Ramses was like, not today. not me. Today I'm going to be on script. He knew, and he was not budging for anyone. Even when she tried to entice him with the little jabs that she would say, indirect and all this other stuff, he was like, no. So he's a villain because of the thing. I still agree. I still stand on what I said about him before. I still do, but we're not talking about that. I'm gonna give him his props about how he handled the situation. He did amazing. Because as people, we're supposed to be growing and glowing, right? People make mistakes. Whether or not he means it I don't know. But at least he's trying to hold himself accountable and be apologetic. Whether he's doing it so people like him or whether he genuinely means it, that's what you're supposed to do.
Yes, Alia, go for it.
So, just to echo what everybody said here, I think that he was solely there as part of a PR campaign to rehabilitate his image. He's a nonprofit program manager, by the way. So I would imagine that that's also part of it. It's like you do represent the nonprofit business that you work for. So we do actually need you to clear this up because it's gonna make our thing look bad. So I'm sure that's probably part of it. Do I think it's legitimate or genuine, I should say? No. Part of that is because of what Marissa said, which is that they were still sleeping with each other at least months after they officially broke up. I don't respect people who do that. If you've told me you do not want to marry me, you don't want to be with me, we are incompatible, you know I still want to be with you, you see I'm clearly desperate enough to give you some snatch. If you see that and you're willing to accept it, knowing you don't want more than that, that makes you a despicable person. Now, does that mean that the other person who's giving themselves to them is less wrong somehow? No, but I'm gonna go ahead and say that I don't respect you for saying yes to it. I don't. You can always say no. And Ramses is cute enough. Okay, Elsa, whatever. But he's cute enough. He can find somebody else. I don't respect that. I don't. Also, I don't respect the fact that even now, we still don't know the reason why he broke up with this lady. He can sit up here all day and say it's energy. I think it's more than that. I'm gonna hold off on it until we can get to that question. But I think you were right, Kojo, as far as your analysis of that original fight. But I think you were right for not the reason that you named. Because I went back and I watched that whole clip. He if you go back and watch that clip in the very beginning, when they were on the balcony, what they were originally talking about was the fact that she moved up the timeline for kids. She wanted them almost immediately, when originally in the pods, she said 3 to 5 years, something around there, right? And then initially in the pod, she was talking about how she was really ambivalent about the military. She wanted a man who was more in touch with their feminine side, down with the cishead men and all that crap, right? That was her in the pods. And now all this stuff is changing. And I think that's what scared him. I think that's the thing that really freaked him out. Not so much the physical touch. Yeah, that's part of it. But I think the reason why the physical touch bothered him is because all this other stuff was changing too. Like, you are now a different person than who you described yourself to me in the pods. The version I'm getting right now is not the version that I would have proposed to. I think that's what freaked him out. But he didn't say that. I don't know why he's not like directly saying that, but he didn't. And for that reason, no, I don't think this whole tail tucked between their legs, I'm so sorry, please forgive me, I don't believe that version of Ramses. I don't believe that, because I don't think he really means that. I don't think he's being sincere in that, which is why I don't think people are really going to give him too much of a break. Same way they won't for Steven. So, yeah.
So you're telling me, Dahlia, that if you are offering me dessert, I got to refuse it? I can't accept it unless you offer it. First of all, I cannot accept
dessert all the time.
But I cannot accept it unless you offer it. I don't even know it's available unless you offer it.
And I said I got heat for people who do that too. I'm just saying, just because I offer to you, that does not mean you got to say yes. You know I want more than that.
But I told you I don't want to marry you. You
Okay.
are not going to be my wife.
Yeah.
And you still want to feed me. I'ma eat. You know this ain't going nowhere.
No, and go somewhere else.
But this man, see, this is the thing. You want honesty from the man, and now you're going to vilify him for being honest. He said, I'm not going to marry you. Why would you open yourself up to him? Why would you let him partake?
Why can't it be a both and situation? Why can't they both be basura?
It can be both, but again, she is offering. He cannot accept what is not offered.
Get him, Sid.
He's a mute. I got her.
I'm
go ahead, Jay.
I'm not Marissa. I'm not Marissa, and Elsie don't need my help. But first of all, Dahlia, that's projecting. That's projecting, because you know what you don't respect is yourself for coming back. That's actually what you don't respect is yourself for coming back. You can't tell that person, I don't respect you for me offering you and you taking. Like Elsie said, no, you can't. You can't sit there and tell a person, I'm gonna put candy on the table and I don't respect you for taking the candy that I put on the table and left out there for everybody to take. You can't tell that. You know what I'm saying? You gotta tell yourself, why am I going back to get taken? Why am I actually doing that?
That's what I'm saying.
No,
we're talking about Ramses right now, not Marissa.
This is how this dark arts work. This is how this dark arts work, because he told her, I'm not gonna marry you and I'm not gonna date you. He told her both things, because she asked, can we date? Can we still date? He told her no to both things. And she said, okay, well, I'm going to take the best thing. You know why she took that thing? Because she's trying to now manipulate him.
Yes, she is.
So therefore, the respect is no longer, the respect politics is no longer on him, because now she's trying to manipulate him with the cooch. You cannot sit here. This man literally told you what he is not going to do, and he's standing 10 toes down on that. And now you're sliding down the couch mad at him. No, you should be mad at yourself, because you the one who didn't want to believe what he said when he told you his truth. His truth is, I'm not going to marry you. I'm not going to date you. He never said, I'm not going to sex you. He said, I'm not going to marry you. I'm not going to date you. She took it upon herself to say, okay, the next best thing is I can still be with you one way or another, and that's sexually. And then she tried to sit here and say, hey, do you think we can try it again? And he still said no. So there's nothing that you can respect, because he stood 10 toes down on his decision of, I'm not going to marry you. I'm not going to date you. He never took sex off the table. That's on her. That's the beauty part about that type of dark arts and stuff like that. And I'm sorry that it has to be dark arts, but that's the beautiful thing. He told her the truth, and she made her decision based off of that truth. Her decision was, I'm going to still sleep with you, because at the end of the day, I can get something from you. And when she realized I'm getting more than I want, and she lied to herself saying that we could still make this work. And he said, no, we can't. We just having sex. We're just having fun. This is the reason why he stood. Yeah, this is the reason why he stood on mute on that thing, because he didn't want the world to know he was having fun, because he probably had somebody else in the background that wasn't supposed to know he was having fun with her still. I'm not going to sit here and say too much.
Probably.
I'm not going to say, I'm not the biggest Ramses fan, only for the fact that, because I feel like he should have gave her a real reason on why he don't want to talk to her no more. But guess what? I'm not going to give you much when you're giving me everything. You're giving me everything without any type of work. I don't have to put any work in, and you're giving it to me voluntarily for free. He didn't sit there and say, girl, come back and let me get some, and none of this stuff like this. She volunteered to run her behind back over there, despite her mama putting her all together back again. She wants to be Humpty Dumpty and fall off the wall one more goddamn time for this man's peen. That's a decision on you. You cannot sit here and say, I don't respect you for me coming back to you and wanting some. That's wild.
Jay, I don't disagree with you. I agree with you on your assessment, Marissa. I don't disagree with you. What I'm saying, though, is that also means he is dishonorable. And he's also stupid, because that lady, she ain't all the way there.
He's not stealing her cookies.
That's how people end up on Snapped. Okay? That's how people end up on Snapped. Why are you messing with this lady? She's not that's not the one you mess with, not her. Because she the type to slash your tires and do all this crazy stuff. You keep messing around with her, and she's liable to put her hands on you. And you're not gonna know it. Allegedly.
That part is true. That's part is true. That's what you learn. That's what you learn when you go down these roads. And he learned she can't keep her mouth closed. And now I'm about to get in trouble with the other one at home. I ain't gonna do it no more. That's why he told her no to running back again. He cut it off. He the one who actually cut it off. She would have kept giving him the cookies all the way up until that reunion. She would have been telling us, I just slept with him last night. If he didn't cut it off. That is at some point, we can't take that accountability off of Marissa. This is her problem. That is her problem. She has to stand on that you need to set boundaries for yourself. You cannot sit here and expect somebody to set boundaries for you. He said his boundaries is, I'm not going to marry you. I'm not going to date you. That's his boundaries. He left everything else open for her to make her decision on, well, if you're not going to marry me and not going to date me, I'm not going to sex you. That's where she should stand on 10 toes down.
I'm not asking
He's not honorable for that.
I'm asking him to set boundaries for himself. For himself, you are dishonorable. You are dishonoring yourself. Why are you messing around with this girl who wants more from you? You know she wants more from you.
Wait. How is he dishonorable when he honorably told her, I'm not going to marry you. I'm not going to be your boyfriend. You want to lay with me? That's fine. We ain't going nowhere. You're going to get up, get your clothes on, and leave. How is he dishonorable when he is telling her the bold-faced truth? This is not going anywhere but these four walls.
Because he's taking advantage of the fact that he knows that she's using him to get more. She's like what Jay just said. She's trying to manipulate the situation to turn their relations into.
So you gonna make the manipulator the victim?
They're trying to manipulate each other. Basically,
He's that's what's happening. What he's trying to manipulate. He's not trying to manipulate nothing.
He didn't call her.
Yeah,
we're not gonna do that today.
He did not put that on Ramses. He did not send for her. She picked up the phone. She called him and set it up. So I'm sorry. And again, he can no. What is he gonna say at that point? What do you mean he can say no? He done said no. He said no to marriage. He said no to a relationship.
But not no to her body.
But she freely gave it. He did not take from her. That's what I'm trying to get.
I didn't say he took it from her. I'm not saying that. I'm saying he's taking advantage of the situation. She's offering it, and he's saying, okay, let's do it. Knowing that when she says, I'm offering my body, she's really trying to give him the whole package.
And he stopped it. He stopped it. At some point, he said, no more.
Are we sure?
No, he stopped it when he realized that she wanted to give him more. But before then, she might have made it. We don't even know. She might have made it an agreement of let's just sex then. Let's just have a physical relationship with her intentions on having more.
He know that's not what she wants.
He don't go off of whatever she tells him. He don't go whatever she tells him. Dale, you can't sit here. You cannot try to make him the bad guy in there.
That's willful ignorance now.
Okay, but that's what she was doing. Willfulness, ignorance, trying to say, okay, I'm gonna get the D and get them some more. Like, no. If this is the whole thing that the whole old tradition used to say, why is a man gonna buy the cow if you're giving the milk for free?
And the cow out here, he rowing outside. You know that. Why would you go back with that man?
She was hoping she'd get pregnant. Let me go down that daggone road and trap the man. Okay, at this point, she's trying to trap the man.
She could baby trap him. There's so much stuff she could do to that man once he gets her access. It's just like this. They're both.
There's so much stuff she can do, but you're trying to make it seem like he's doing all the stuff, though. Dahlia, she's doing the stuff.
We're not gonna make him.
I'm literally not saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying both of them are being terrible right now. I already told you I agree with you about Marissa. I don't know how many ways I can say that.
But we don't agree
I'm
on
just
the
saying
Ramses.
I'm giving heat to Ramses too.
Yeah, we disagree with Ramses. I'm sorry.
He's saying yes to her.
He's saying yes to what is offered. Hey, Dahlia, I'd say yes too.
He's a grown-ass man who can say no.
Dahlia? It's $1 million on the table. All you got to do is go grab it. You gonna say no?
He's attractive enough. He can find somebody else.
You gonna say no? You broke, and you struggling and hungry. It's $1 million on the table. All you got to do is reach.
He's not struggling. That man is not struggling.
Go get that $1 million.
With 2 braids. He is not struggling.
You lot
In
are
what
killing
universe
me.
is Ramsey struggling? Come on now.
We don't know
Just
that.
let
Everybody
Lorraine
don't
go.
want Ramses.
I mean, listen, I actually see both you lot's points. I can't even lie to you. Because individually, everyone has to be accountable for themselves, right? Marissa has to be accountable for herself. Ramsey has to be accountable for himself, right? So, regardless of what they were both wanting, this was consensual. They both wanted to have sex, whatever their reasons was. But I also understand what you're saying, Dahlia, in the sense of, well, if it comes to Ramses and he's looking at it from his perspective, he can accept the coochie freely if he wants to, but he also will be responsible. Because if anything goes awry after he now knows that she wants him more than the sex, he will be held accountable. So even though she might be manipulating him, wanting to get more from him, whatever, the fact that you now know someone likes you and they want more than you, right? And they want more from you than just the sex, then that will make you, from your perspective, it'll make you accountable. Now you can freely do it. You can freely do it. You just can't also remove the villain label from yourself. That's actually the real truth. That's dark arts. So it's about different perspectives. You guys were saying saying the same thing in the sense of, but you were saying from different perspectives. In essence, the world is dark, and in essence, Elsa and Jay, what they're saying, I'm agreeing with them because that's my position. You know what I'm saying? But the reality of the situation is, what you're saying also is very true, which is that there is going to be some level of accountability, even if I know you're offering it and I can take it, absolutely. But when something goes awry and she's acting out, moving mad, and this is actually funny because this is Jamaica. So this is you know what I'm saying to you? Like this you become accountable. So even though you can, that's where you're saying, darling, that there's going to be some accountability. So it's not to say, again, I'm agreeing with both of you. I think Marissa has lessons to learn. She has to learn that lesson. So for her actions onto him can't be attributed to him. What can be attributed to him is his actions to her. Meaning, once you now know she's given up the coochie, but she wants more than you, you're going to have to be accountable. If she now traps you, if she now says that she now fallen in love with you and she's madly in love with you, he's going to have to take that on board. So that's the case. But as a general overview, I see what you're saying as well. At the same time, hey, you going to offer it? Shoot. I'm going to take it. You know what I'm saying to you? So, but you will be accountable in that respect. Lorraine, we haven't heard from you. You know, you've been sitting there quietly looking demure while we've been going at it, Slogan Fest. What are you thinking is happening? What's your thoughts?
No, Dahlia, I agree with you on a logical standpoint that you know that you're gonna hurt this person more by doing this, right? Because ultimately you don't want to be with them, and they are doing this as a way of trying to be with you. It's all gonna end in tears. So logically, it makes sense. But what happens is men don't think logically when it comes to the do, you know? They think logically in most things, but not when it comes to that. You know, in their mind, it's they can compartmentalize everything. This is just this, and you know, it will be what will be. There's so many circumstances where men sometimes aren't even attracted to the people that they're sleeping with, and they're just doing it because it's just an act, you know, for them. So I feel like as women, understanding that our power lies in that. Once you give up that power, you are leaving yourself vulnerable to anything, because you've lost all bargaining power, right? If he had come to her saying that, then if she had said, "Oh, you came to me and you were trying to," that's a whole different thing. But you willingly went to him and you were doing this, right? So yes, he should not have accepted it, but many men do it. He's not the first. And right now, as we speak, I'm sure there's a man doing it right now, and he won't be the last. Because that's just how men are. And it's up to us as women to have discernment, to have self-control and self-respect at the end of the day. At the end of the day, if just have self-respect for yourself. So I think that's what it is. She lacked respect for herself.
Can I say this? It's funny because Katie said something in the chat, and we don't have this argument when it comes to women getting things from men. we don't necessarily have this argument when they getting things from men that they know they don't like, they don't want no more and stuff. Like Eddie said, if he paying the rent, you know what I'm saying? He paying the rent. Well, thank you, sir. Pay this rent. Then, you know, we don't say that she's wrong. I don't respect her for getting her rent paid and all this stuff like that. We just be like, girl, get your money, sis. Get your money. But because the man getting what he wants, now it's a problem. He's not respectable. He's not honorable and all this stuff like that. Like, what? Come on now. Now listen, I ain't gonna say he's not respectable because I'm on my rent paid. So Mr. Charles.
Hey, he trying to have fun and not have his body count go up. So hey.
Listen, right. I can't take too much on that. I got a few women in my family who do that. So
that's where the lines get tricky for all of us.
I gotta.
I'm in the bind, Nate. I'm in the bind, Nate.
I'm in the bind is killing me. I'm in the bind is killing me. All right, listen, because our time is gonna run. So let's move on. Listen, no, wait. Is there one more thing about Ramesses and Marissa? There was one more thing, was there? No? Okay.
No, we ran that to the ground.
Right? Okay, cool. All right, cool. So obviously, the last one, Stefan and obviously Monica, they obviously had their little bit of a situation, and I want to ask a question. Stefan's confession about, I did this, but was it more manipulation? When you wrote that letter, was it more manipulation? When he admitted what he done, was it more manipulation? You know what I'm saying, Chu? It did sound a little woe is me, but I don't know. What was your thoughts on Stefan and Monica, who is obviously got a new man apparently as well? So shout out to Monica. Her man was in the audience as well. What was you guys' thoughts, man? You know what I mean? Like,
wait, her man was in the audience and she was still mad, couldn't let this man speak. Hey, what?
Yeah, apparently her man was in the audience,
confusion as all get out, okay? Because my biggest whole thing with it, regardless if Stefan is lying, telling the truth, or whatever, let that man speak. That was my issue. That was like, just shut up and let him speak. Let him tell what he got to do. And he spent more time saying, now nobody cares. Nobody gives a damn what I have to say. That because you kept interrupting him every 5 seconds, ma'am. He came out. He said he don't know what the text messages said, but he remember what the text message that he don't delete the text message, but he deleted that one text message. Just let him talk, because the truth is gonna come out in his talking, okay? Because he all over the daggone place. He know the text message started off that it was, some life change that the lady had, but then all of a sudden she was talking about the kinks, but they just started talking, but it was a week ago, but they've been talking for some months. He knew her from way back when. Let that man tell on himself, because that's what Stephen gonna do. Stephen gonna do one thing for sure, is tell on himself. So just let him have the space. Let him hang himself. That's all Monica had to do. I don't know if she just was trying to save him in this. She was trying to cover him in this. But I was like, shut up. Shut up. Because he gonna tell on himself. Child. That's one thing Stephen is definitely gonna do, is tell on himself. He like, I don't lock no phones, I don't erase no messages, but I erased that text messages. I don't remember what they said, but I do recall her saying that she likes it in the back from the side and all this other things. But I can't tell you all that because I don't want to put her business out there. But her name is, and then just let that man tell his business, child. And we could have moved on. Monica was over here. She tried to talk about Nick trying to be somebody. She's trying to get her little 15 minutes because Stephen done messed up the whole thing for her, so she can't get no real fame. So she want to interrupt him every 5 seconds. Just let Stephen be Stephen and say what he got to say, and we could have moved on from that situation. We didn't even really have to talk to them after all, you know what I'm saying? Because it got nowhere. It got nowhere at the end of the day. But at the end, again, her man was in the audience and she still was acting like this. She should have been unbothered. Like, I got a whole new boo. Y'all meet him. He right there. Say hi to my baby. Okay, that 15 minutes. We be married next week. Don't worry about it. Child, you know what? I was trying to like her, but I don't. I'm sorry.
Jay, I don't like her either. I don't even have notes on her. I have notes on Stephen. I have no notes on her. I don't like this lady. I feel like I am betraying the Black sisterhood right now by saying that. I do not like her.
Hold up. She denounced us. Oh. Even
You
on her
right.
thing, she'd be like other. So you know, you're not betraying. You good. You good. You good.
Okay.
D.
You're right. Stephen is fascinating though. If I was a psychologist, I would want him in my office like every other day because there's so much there. I can make so much money off of him. Take me a whole little winter vacation just off of him because he got some issues. I honestly feel like that whole rant that he went on, I think he's got like a humiliation kink, and that was a turn on for him. I think he likes that Monica is like so mean to him. And like part of him is saying all this stuff just to get her wound up so she'll beat him up some more. And that's what gets him off. I think he's into that. I don't know why.
Isn't that like a kink where somebody talks crazy to you and stuff like that?
Yes. That's a real thing. That's a real thing. And I think he's one of those dudes because everything he says points to that. How he talks about himself. He says, I want to be treated like, he even brought it up in the reunion. I want to be treated like a piece of me. Nobody was even asking him. He brought that up. That's what he likes. That's what he's into. And I think he maybe thought that Monica was going to be that girl because she's very domineering and commanding. Monica is vanilla, honey. She's not that girl. She's very vanilla. She ain't about that life. Not really. So he needs to be in like in the community, if you know what I mean. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. That's where he needs to be. That's where he's going to find his femdom. That's what he needs, and leave Monica alone. And he's like, I don't know. I think in his mind, he thinks he's like the villain and the victim of his own story. I think that's what he thinks about himself. Like he really beats himself up a lot. And to the point where at this point now, it's just gross. It's like this whole self-flagellation thing he's got going. It's gross. It's enough. Okay. I'm glad they didn't do too much on him because he probably would have liked it. This is kids got to watch this. We don't need to see you getting off on that, sir. So yeah.
And it's all alleged. Pause is all alleged.
Oh, sorry, you're right.
There is nothing wrong if that is Stephen's preference.
There's nothing wrong with it. You're right.
And I think we saw it. We saw it because if you rewatch it, go get my slippers, Stephen. Go check the AC, Stephen. Hush. When he put the food in his mouth to hush up, his face lit up. Again, there are people who do like to be partially scolded.
Wait, what's them people that like that reverse slavery thing?
Yes, that's what we're talking about, Jay.
Yeah.
Right. So allegedly, it seems like based on the edit we're seeing, for him to be, I was upset that Monica was treating him like the butler. I was upset because I said that is not respectful to your gentleman, to the husband, to the man who is going to lead your household. But now looking back at it and all the information on Stephen, I'm like, okay, Stephen, that may be your preference. That may be what you like. And far be it from me to say, hey, your fiance can't give you what you like. But my thing is that it further feeds it when he's like, yes, I'm the bad person. You feel like he just, like Nick, just capitulates really quickly. When it is part of who he is and part of, seems like it's who he is and how he reacts. But he also could be non-confrontational because he's given me that I'm not going to confront you about these things. You say I'm bad. You say I'm this. I'm going to accept it. I'm not even going to argue with you because it will be pointless to argue with you. And in Stephen's defense, it will be pointless. She saw the text. So it'll be pointless to argue. He's just taking the wind out of her sails. And I think that's what Monica didn't appreciate. It's like, I cannot berate you if you're like, yes, I'm bad. Yes, I did that. I admit it. I am sorry. I cannot berate you when you are admitting your faults and you're taking this. And it's like, okay, I will leave. There's no argument. Stephen is not arguing with you. He said, hey, I did bad, I did wrong, and I need to leave. So again, Stephen, this is not the way to end a relationship. This is not the way to just leave. And, you're caught in your lie. It's like you don't delete text messages, but you deleted this one. So this, of course, is going to pique everybody's curiosity. And yeah, Nick, I agree with Nancy. Nick and Vanessa were taking too long to ask what was in text messages. So I'm going to just have to yell it out. What was in the text message, Stephen? But again, I agree with you, Dahlia. If you just let Stephen talk, just let him talk. He's going to let you know the entire story, the text messages, the date stamp, the location stamp. He will tell you everything. But they wouldn't let him speak. And thus it is feeding into the narrative of, y'all just don't want to hear what I have to say. Y'all won't let me speak. Y'all won't let me tell my truth. So he can make himself look like the one being beaten up on. But again, for Stephen and Monica, I didn't think they were a fit from the pods. I was concerned that, the level of, their lifestyles were different, but I didn't think they were a fit. So I'm sorry it crashed and burned like this, but hey, he got her flowers, perpetual flowers.
Yeah, you were right, Elsie. You did say that from the very beginning. I was over here thinking that they could be something good, but man, my pickers, I'm like, I think I'm like 0 for 4 right now. I thought they were going to be good together. I don't know what I was thinking, child. Oh, yeah, you were right. Go ahead and do your victory lap.
But I guess we're talking about the manipulation between Steve and I think the man is just so off. And it's unfortunate that we are going to, again, shame him, and I'll be part of the shaming of him, but he's not part of the Mandem. We've cast him out. He's 1/8 octoroon, a black, not gonna happen. He's not, no, he's Serbian, just like Tyler. I will say that I'm disappointed because when we talk about these situations, especially with Steven and even with Tyler, even with Ramses, that the guys, I guess the disdain for the guys is so glaring that we don't, focus our magnifying lens on how mean a Monica or a Marissa may be. Monica, that is a mean lady. She might have a man now, but she ain't gonna have him for long. She is a mean woman. And I pray for any dude that is in her atmosphere. And mark my words, here in a couple months, that dude's gonna be long gone. But I think that when we have people who are on the extremes, like a Steven, where they have so much of a snowball of issues, it makes us overlook it. But I think there's common red flags with Monica that we're just overlooking. But that mean woman is mean, and I want everybody to know that. Don't be a Monica. That woman is long gone in her meanness.
No, Easton, I think you're right. And I did bro code versus girl code. I feel like Monica and what's her name? Hannah were leading that whole little crew. And then Marissa was feeding off of them because Marissa is a chameleon. So she's going to be whoever she needs to be in that moment because she's next to Monica and Hannah. Okay, I'll be mean girl today. That's the role I'm going to play today. And then tomorrow I'll go back to sunshine, happy, joy girl. And I think that's probably why Ramses was shocked because it's just like, what is this? You just whoever you need to be today. And yeah, that little girl clique, it can do some real damage, man. It can do some serious damage. That would be an interesting analysis of how that works. I will say this much: they were riding for each other, though, weren't they? They didn't turn on each other like the bros did.
Real quick, I know that we gon'
fair play to them.
I know that's a common thing, but the sisterhood is always stronger than the brotherhood because the brotherhood, one man is going to fall to the pillow talk and it breaks us down. So that's why men always kind of roll in packs of 2s and 3s, dudes that we know we can roll with. This group, this group right here was just brought together because of the show. But in the wild, we would have had like 1 or 2 guys that I know I can rock with, that I've rocked with for forever. But the sisterhood, oh, y'all gonna go down with the ship. And that's what Hannah had the sisterhood do. Crash dummy mission.
I mean, listen, hey, I personally think, in that, I wanted Monica to let him finish, just so that he can actually hang himself and say what he needs to say. Because Stefan's a whole liar. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Okay, he's a liar and a manipulator. All right, and he just needed to, there was, I think to myself that in that situation, I feel like he, of course, I think he wanted to try and, I think partly he wanted to get out of it, but, I wanted to be able to hear the explanation on reunion, and we didn't get it because Monica was consistently interrupting, like we saw her do earlier in the show. So, I don't think she's anywhere near as bad as Stefan. I just think she's just a nitpicker. And she's very heavy on the nitpicking, which can be very annoying if you're in a relationship. So, but I think that's easily fixed. You find the right person that lets you know with a strong a boundary that says, "Hey, stop nitpicking. Like, I'm not going to work with that." Do you know what I mean? Like, and I think she'll change. And it's also because I think also she doesn't. And this is me just being a bit fair on her. I've been going on her for a little while. I think also because that fear of being cheated on, I think that is a very heavy fear. So you're nitpicking everything to kind of like make sure you're safe. But the reality of the situation is that actually going to cause the person to want to lean away from you. So I just think it's a little bit of work that she needs to do. I just wish she would have given Stefan a bit more time to speak on that on the actual show. So that we can actually hear what his actual thought process was. You know what I'm saying to you? I don't be rocking with Stefan anyway because his mouth is loose everywhere. Man, women, he's loose, and you can't be trusted. At least if you were the ladies, we know you were the ladies. But you on both sides of the fence. No. Sorry, you dangerous to me. You know what I mean? Like, you snitched, then you throw people underneath the bus, and then you can't even remember what they said. Oh, nah. Sir, you need to remember what he said, and you need to go 10 toes down further along with Monaco and the rest of the gang. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I would have loved to hear more what he was saying as well. And obviously that the diabolicalness is the fact that how do we get for a conversation from the heart condition to fetish? Ayo, that was a whole trip for me. I'd rather he just didn't even mention a heart condition. I'd rather just say, listen, I can't lie to you, we had a conversation, it went wild. Okay, we started talking. But the fact that he mentioned that we're having a heart condition conversation, and then the person mentioned a fetish, it was given, bro, you're almost making it sound as if the person is the one that's been accountable for saying this thing, but you're the one that was in a relationship with Monica, no one else. So you don't be trying to put it onto the other person about, you know what I mean, own it. You know what I'm saying to you? And I feel like sometimes I don't like the fact that he tries to play the whole woe is me energy, and I don't really like it. You know what I'm saying to you? It's like, it doesn't give authenticity that you're actually sorry. It gives woe is me, and you're using that to manipulate me, to make me feel sorry for you. I ain't like that kind of stuff. Man, them be doing that kind of stuff when they're unaccountable and be like, yo, like, man, them are always getting on to me. But, bro, no, we're getting on to you because, bro, you're moving mad, fam. You know what I'm saying to you? Don't be doing the woe is me with me. You know what I'm saying to you? Yeah, I didn't like that. So that was my kind of thought process on Stefan, do you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Lorraine, we haven't heard from you. Stefan and Monica, how you feel about them?
First of all, I love the fact that you keep on calling him Stefan when everyone is clearly saying Stephen.
Oh, is it Stephen?
You're going for the full government.
That man is white.
That's been killing me the whole time. And no one is correcting this man. Y'all are wrong.
Y'all be letting me say these people's names.
Olawan Stevan.
You mean it's not Stephen?
Oh, Estefan. Estefan. It depends on which group you can find that man in.
I could not. You were saying you're spitting facts. I could not take you seriously because I'm like, everyone has been saying Stephen, bro. Where are you getting Stephen from?
It's the spelling because it's PH. That's what it is. It's throwing them off.
Yeah, but everyone, even in the reunion, everyone
calling Stephen. Yeah,
the show,
I don't know what I was hearing.
Him Stephen.
It'd be as bad as me calling Yoshua when it was Juan from Married at First Sight. So I don't be getting names right at all. Continue anyway. Sorry, Lorraine. Go on.
No, I did not want to hear from Stefan. I don't want to hear from you because what else do you have to say? He's an acquired taste. Yes, got off the thing. He's an acquired taste. He likes what he likes. What else do people need him to explain? You guys are actually sick because why do you need to know what's in the text? You know they're foul. You know those texts are bad. Why do you want to know exactly word for word what that, like, you know, he's an acquired taste, he likes what he likes, and I respect it. At least he's honest about it, because there's some men out here who they're not, you know. So I did not want to hear what he had to say, because he wasn't going to say anything revealing. Like, we know who you are, we know what you like. And Monica, I just didn't like her from the pods for two reasons. One, you said, "Oh, I'm so happy that you were honest about this." Yes, great that he's honest about it, but are you banking this information, sis? Yes, he's honest, but what? This man said he's in therapy, and now at the reunion, "Oh, I've gone to therapy." So the therapy is not working, bro. The therapy is not working, bro. Okay, so let's look at that, Monica. For you to say, "Oh no, there was no red flag," that is a red flag. It is a red flag that he did that. Yes, he's being honest about it, but it don't change the fact that he done that. Number two, this man called you a word, and you said, "Yes, I am." We all know what word he called her, and you allowed this man to degrade you racially. Because he's what? He had a test that said he's a not full Nigerian. So now it's okay for him to call you. That's an offensive word. I'm sorry. You have no right to call me that. And for you to be a pick me and say, "Yeah, I am that," just told me everything that I needed to know about Monica. So the added things about her being not so nice and being mean and this, that, and the other. But from the pods, I was not a fan of her. So I did not feel sorry for her when Stephen did what he did, because he done told you the exact thing that he said he did is the exact thing that he did to you. I don't feel bad for you. I don't. He showed himself his true colors. That's who he is. And you were so desperate to get married that you were just blind to everything, and you also accepted a word, him calling you something that he should not have called you. So yeah, I didn't feel bad for her. I didn't want to hear from her. I didn't want to hear, like, please, both of you irrelevant. There's worse villains that we could be hearing from, actually. Let's get into Tyler some more, and Ashley. Like, I see what you lot are doing, Netflix. I don't care about Stephen. He wants the airtime. Because why are you butting in when talking about, "Oh yeah, I don't mind"? No one asked you. Shut up. But he wants the airtime. Like, no one's feeling sorry for you. Yes, you like to be slapped around. Go do that somewhere else, please. Yeah.
I hear it. Listen, I hear it. Okay, as somebody said, kink shames are very tiring. So I hear it. I think I think have we exhausted it now? I think we exhausted it. I think we've exhausted it. I think we've done that. You know what I'm saying, Chu? Was there any other things in the room you want to address? I think that's.
I got a couple things.
Oh Lord. Okay, go for it.
Leo came out golden. That man, all the men folk need to learn from him. Because when I tell you he came in there a villain and came out looking like a whole champion, how the heck did that happen? He did everything you're supposed to do. He saw that grenade and he fell on it. You know, it's me. It's me. It's all me. It was. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to you. I'm sorry to you. I'm sorry to the people who saw me. He made a joke out of it. It wasn't really funny, but he was trying. People thought he was sincere. It's like, yes, he did everything he was supposed to do. Just kudos to you, Leo. I don't know how you pulled this off. It's magical, but you did it, sir. I got to give you your kudos. And also, say what you want, but little Miss Brittany, her and Katie were the only women who knew how to talk to these men folk and get what they wanted. I'm just saying. I think it's dark artistry, but they use them feminine wiles to be able to get in these men's heads and get what they wanted. And I think all of the women can learn from them. Just saying. Ashley, she kind of got it like a little bit. She didn't really get to employ it too much. She was trying to use it when they was in that pool, But Brittany and Katie, yeah. They know what they're doing. That's it.
Beautiful stuff. Okay. Well, I guess that brings us to a close. We've reached our time limit. Listen, someone said AD annoyed me. I know. We all, yeah, we understand.
Period.
She's always period for somebody that shouldn't be period. It's just, that's the annoying part.
I'm period in the annoyed part. Period.
Oh, because she be doing period on the wrong people's. Yes, Easton.
I will say, I think that we gotta, with the sisterhood, because there's layers to the sisterhood, and the strongest layer is the Black sisterhood. The Black sisterhood can't keep caping for the white sisterhood because they not. It's not working. It's not bi-directional. They not.
That's a mean girl sisterhood. So all the mean girls, regardless of race, was over there. We not caping for them hoes. Okay.
No, but even AD was coming to cape for Hannah. Period. She's standing 10-toe. The issue is they not saving you or protecting you or shielding you the same way you shielding them. Marissa, oh Hannah, baby girl, she not coming to save you. You over here looking like Boo Boo the Fool, and your mama about to hurt you. So I just want everybody, the sisterhood, the strongest layer of the sisterhood, the Black sisters, I want y'all to get y'all's reparations from them white women, and get in, and hopefully they'll protect you next time.
He said, when they cancel you, don't call me, because I won't be coming. The brother is strong, but it's not that strong. Okay. Get you a lawyer. Get you Marissa. Listen. There was one thing someone mentioned actually, and I didn't even want to discuss it really quickly. It was that Garrett, did he lie or did he not lie about moving to San Diego? Because he didn't go to San Diego. So I want to get your thoughts. Yes, Easton.
I know I'm big on the. My boy put his foot down. I thought he was gonna fold on us, but my boy Garrett. My boy Garrett put his foot down because Taylor was running him from the get-go. She was dragging him through the mud. But my boy Garrett said, yeah, I'm at the top of the power structure in the patriarchy. And he said, no. We coming back to where I'm from. I met you in DMV. We're going to stay in the DMV. We ain't going to San Diego. So I'm proud of my boy because he came on to the reunion, held it down for the brotherhood. Over here caping for Tyler Bumself. I feel Garrett was Captain America in this whole situation, but he held. I think he was planning on doing so, and he was just like, "Nah, I'm over here making too many concessions." And Taylor was being a little bit too domineering in that way. But I'm proud of Garrett because he finally put his foot down.
I don't believe so, Easton. I'm sorry. This is where we part ways. I'm sorry. It's been a good run. But if Garrett didn't have that fashion deal and had to walk the runway, they would be in San Diego. Because you know what? Fashion Week is on the East Coast. Fashion Week is up in New York. Fashion Week is running all the way up and down the East Coast. There's one Fashion Week, yes, there's in LA, but it's not as many as it is on the East Coast. So I'm wondering if he didn't entice Taylor, hey, I'm walking the runway. We got to stay on the East Side. Because all this attention and all this fashion, look how you're looking good, girl. You're looking good. We got to stay on the East Coast to keep this going. I'm sorry. I think the fashion kept Taylor, and the fact that he got the fashion job on top of the physics job, I think that kept Taylor on the East Coast. Opportunity.
Child, Garrett spent all the moving money on travel. He said, "Let me take you to Paris. Let me take you over here. We're gonna go to Greece. We're gonna go to Milan. I gotta do an audition over here. We gotta do that over here. Oh shoot! We gotta save up again, baby, to move because we can't quite move just yet because that's gonna take a lot of our money and we don't spend it all." Listen, marriage is compromise. It's compromise, okay? You know, you want 7 years for a kid, so we gonna stay 7 years right here, and then when we had that baby, we can move to San Diego. Okay, maybe they negotiated some things. All right, you know, maybe she needed to just stay close to the lady he was texting. We don't know. You got to keep your enemies close sometimes, okay? So I don't know, but hey, like Issa said, he put his foot down, and that's where we at right now. Okay, your daddy can come see us. Period. Period.
Kojo, I'm glad you brought that up because I agree with you, Easton. Flynn Rider, he put his foot down and he said, "We not going nowhere." And Taylor said, "My man, thank you to my man. He says that we're gonna stay here, and that's where we're gonna stay." I mean, what did you hear how she was talking to this man, cheesing all up in his face? I'm sorry, Elsie, but I mean, look, he got a Fashion Week deal. It's a week. You ain't got to live in DC.
You think it ain't just a week? It ain't just a week, girl. It ain't just a week.
Ma'am, he is a model. He is not a designer. Come on.
They not only do the runway, they do print too. Come on now. Let's not act like they just show up and walk a runway. They don't.
That's what planes are for. Models tap on planes all the time. They got a whole genre of clothing just for
and
models.
That's why we need to be on the East Coast. We need to stay on the East Coast because we're going to Milan next. We're going to Florence. We're taking it internationally. We can't go to San Diego because it's a longer flight. This fashion won't work from San Diego.
Internationally, that's pretty, Tiffany.
That's how Flynn Rider flipped it, so that way Taylor would agree.
Garrett is booked and busy from the East Coast. We can't be booked and busy from San Diego.
Okay.
Not too much on Garrett. Not too much on Garrett.
Oh.
Not too. I thought we were getting along, guys. I thought we were getting along.
Period.
Guys. Not too much on Garrett. Okay. The reason why Taylor wanted to move to San Diego is the same reason why during the taping, Garrett wanted to stay. Family. It was the same reason. That's why in the reunion, she was like, "Sorry, Mom. Sorry, Dad." So, listen, compromise. He put his foot down, whatever. Listen, you have a good man, Savannah. You have a good man, Savannah. Okay? So, if he says we're not going, I don't even care what. Listen, I'm about to do a Nikki D on y'all. Right? You see how you guys were making him a saint? I'm about to do the same thing on Garrett. He can do no wrong to me because he treated that woman with respect, Habibi.
Outside of line about that text.
Habibi.
Outside of line about that text. But other than that, yeah, he was good.
Yeah. Even with that haircut, you look good, Habibi. I'm supporting you from far, Habibi. Not too much on Garrett. Not too much on Garrett now. Okay. I want a boring love. Last week I said I want a medium ugly. I'm out of that. I want a boring love. Everyone's calling them boring. Yeah, I want that. I want no one pulling up receipts. I want no one finding out dirt. I want everyone calling me boring because there's no drama. My man. Not too much on Garrett.
Amen.
And he probably got you the fit for the reunion too. Modeling job, fresh off the runway.
She was the best dressed because guess what? Well, who's the designer? You look good, Habibi. I'm supporting you from far, Habibi. Yes.
The pick of the litter.
All right. Any other thoughts? Because people are supporting people from far, Habibi. So, any other thoughts? No?
No, I think we're good.
Well, listen. I think it's time to dismount. My pizza's here. Anyway, listen. God bless y'all. It's been amazing. It's been great. Okay, all right. And this was the last one we're doing for Love is Blind. Bar anything happens. I mean, season 8. I don't know when season 8 is coming out. Is it this year or next year? Season 8. It normally comes out in January.
February.
Valentine's next year.
February. February.
So we'll be back next year,
Valentine's
February.
Day. Valentine's Day.
We'll be back then, Valentine's Day, for you guys and to Love Is Blind.
He said, for all you
know,
singles that ain't got no date, come on.
come on up. Okay.
They smart for that. Netflix smart for that. I said Netflix smart for that.
Listen, they're marketing geniuses, man. Do you know what I mean? We'll see what happens to Ashley and Tyler by then. Hopefully, they'll probably still be together. If I'm honest with you, I think they got at least a good 5 in her. I think she got a good 5 in her. Yeah, I actually think that I think we're looking at Tyler and Ashley wrong. I think we're looking at Tyler as if he's the one that's leading the situation. I don't. I see Ashley leading him the whole entire way. He gonna fix up. He's like a little boy in her arms. She's got her man, and she has got him locked. Okay, he gonna be on his best behavior. Okay, she's about to turn into a whole madam. But we'll discuss that behind the scenes. Listen, audience members, it's been amazing. It's been great. It's been fantastic. Listen, thank you for joining us this season as well for Love Is Blind. Hopefully, Ready to Love comes back. I know they've done some stuff, but they haven't actually come back yet. So probably when I'm in Ghana, we'll probably end up doing some lives when we're there as well. So make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification of the uploads. It's been amazing. It's been wonderful. And yeah, we will see you very, very soon. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, baby. Oh, wait, by the way, shout out to Tamara Brown because she won the Edo. Did you not know? Oh, one of my people done won the Ghana trip. Oh, boy. Yeah. Y'all think I was playing with y'all? I told you one of my people going to win. Okay, so Tamara Brown.
They have others.
So first one.
Others.
Yes, they have others. Actually, the competition is going to run another, I think they're going to run it another 2 weeks. They're going to run it. So I want you to know that the link is in the description box. Okay, guys. If you want to win a trip to Ghana, okay, this year, all right, or next year, whenever they do it, because I think it will be January. It's between January and December they're going to do their one. So if you want to win a trip to Ghana, listen, my friends, click on the link down below in the description box and go and join the competition because they are still doing more winners for you guys. You've got 2 weeks left over. So if you want to win a ticket, shout out again to Tamara Brown for winning her ticket. I want y'all to win your ticket, so go and buy one. It's $4. You know what I'm saying to you? So go and buy yours and get entered into the prize draw again. Listen, it's been great. It's been amazing.
Cash out me $4 so I can go ahead and get my ticket real quick, and I promise to bring you back something from Ghana. Appreciate you.
You know what? I would happily cash up you. You just won't receive it. Cash up,
just cash up for me.
Cash up done shut down in the UK. They done shut us down all the way down. They said we ain't going to tax evade in the UK. Yep. So yeah, they shut us all the way down.
My PayPal's open too, so just go ahead. So I can,
she said a PayPal. Okay,
put it in there. I'll get you a gift while I'm out there.
I'll send you a little $4. You know what I'm saying? I'm out in Ghana this year, so if you're there, let me know. You know what I'm saying? We're good to see y'all. Okay, so I'm gonna play a little Edo video as we go out, and we'll see you guys very, very soon. Okay.
Mika Turkson, writer and producer for Ito, and I'm here to announce
hold on.
An exciting opportunity for all of our food lovers and adventure seekers out there. We are giving you guys the opportunity to come to Accra, Mika Turkson, writer and producer for Ito, and I'm here to announce an exciting opportunity for all of our food lovers and adventure seekers out there. We are giving you guys the opportunity to come to Accra, Ghana for just $6. Yes, I said it, just $6. Imagine exploring the bustling streets, the vibrant markets, the iconic nightlife in this inspiring city that helped us build Ito. But that's not all. The lucky winner can join us this December for all the excitement and celebration. As you know, Accra has a lot to offer, from all the unforgettable moments and festive activities. Don't miss out on this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to experience Ghana with Ito. Enter today and you could be our lucky winner.
Grab your tickets down below in the description box as well, guys. We will see you and probably next week. I know the Cam Newton stuff's happened. You guys have been messaging me about the Cam Newton Jasmine stuff, so maybe we'll talk about that on the weekend. On Sunday, maybe we'll see what we can do, or Monday, whatever. It all depends how much time I got. But listen, make sure you grab your tickets down below in the description box, and you can win like Tamara Brown too. I can't wait. Okay, I appreciate y'all. Stay locked, stay loaded. I appreciate y'all. Be blessed, baby.